Here we are. Welcome to Allergic to Silverware. We are live we're live from our living rooms here this afternoon, and hopefully we'll be live in Oriel Park later on to see Harps as they tackle Dundalk in the first away game of the season, which is going to be tough. But boy, by a great result last week, first 3 points on the board. Our optimism proved fruitful, and we got Harps got the result that they wanted. Chief, just quickly, what did you make of the game?
Great, obviously great result. Thought Harps were full value for it, to be honest, Cowan. Kind of game went the way I expected it to go. I was confident Harps would get a result. Got the goal in the first half, and then, as we know, under Ollie, and especially at home, Harps they're hard to break down. But honestly, thought they were full value for it. Bowes, as you'd expect, had a lot of the ball, but didn't really trouble Harps that much. I think mentioned Siddiqui was superb at the back, and Coyle was really industrious in the middle of the park, and it was a good all-round team performance. But it wasn't a case of Harps were hanging on and there was last-ditch blocks and Mark McGinley was making loads of saves. Harps were relatively comfortable, I'd say, and I think Long's comments after the match were a bit poor. Like, he sort of said that a combination of a couple of combination of the pitch, and I think he said the referee, I think they could have had a couple of penalties. So, as usual, Harps probably not getting the credit they deserve, because I think Bowes didn't do enough to get a result. That was my opinion. Maybe, again, as we mentioned before, might be a bit biased. But great result, Cowan, and great way to start the season. What did you make of it yourself?
Yeah, pretty much, I think you summed up perfectly. Again, we kind of spoke about it last week. Did we think that they were capable of getting a result? Definitely. I thought, again, we spoke about the investment, and not to go too much into that there, but the team that they had in the pitch, more than capable of getting a result against that Bowes team. And they went to Bowes tail end of last season and beat them. So that would have given them great confidence, going into the game. And they took that in, and, a mistake that led to a goal. But Foley still has a lot to do from where he is. He has to, round the keeper again. On that pitch, if you want to say, the ball can bounce anyway at times on you, and the big man's done really well to stick it away, and I was delighted for him. And that's going to give him confidence. That's going to, a striker getting a goal first game. He's up and running now, and it's going to give the whole team confidence going into tonight. With having that 3 points on the board.
100%. I mean, you couldn't have asked for a better start. Like, beating the top side as well, it gives you that extra lift. And Bowes are certainly a top side, but obviously Dundalk, they didn't get the result they wanted last week. Are you wary of a bit of a reaction tonight from Dundalk? You would imagine, they'll want to really rectify that result last week. So it's probably maybe a bad time. Maybe there's never a good time to get Dundalk. But you think, what's your opinion tonight? Going to be a tough night, yeah.
Yeah, anytime you go down to Dundalk, it's tough. They're good, especially on their home patch. They're gonna be annoyed about the way things went last week. Especially after Shamrock Rovers, the night before, not getting the result that they would have thought that they would have got, and then maybe that was an opportunity that they would have missed. Dundalk will definitely see that. Going to Sligo, and then again, they were going to Sligo, have put a great squad together too, and. That they would have thought they'd be going there to pick up 3 points, and they were lucky maybe to get the point that they did get. So, Dundalk tonight, they'll not be happy with the start they've made. We see that the team that they've put out there, they could put out 2 teams probably. So the team that they've gone with, they'll be going to win the game. They'll be going to score a couple of goals and get their season very much up and running. I thought, just to mention, they've gone sort of wholesale in terms of, changes. A lot of guys missing, from that team, and the team that they'll be starting with, or the team that they started with last week as well. They're going to take time to settle. They're not going to be able just to hit the ground running. This is not Dundalk that we're accustomed to watching for the last, couple of years. You take out Gary Rogers is gone, who's been their keeper for the last couple of seasons. You have Gannon gone. You have Sean Hoare's gone. Massey's gone. Mountain's gone. Those were the kind of
top
the
players, a lot of top players,
top experienced players. And even the quality, the likes of Flores, who went to Hull. They've got a massive influx of players that have come in. So it's going to take them a while to gel and to settle. They'll be looking at this game for 3 points. There'll be nothing else talked about in their dressing room, you would imagine, all week and especially tonight.
And who's picking the team? Who's picking the team? Because that's another interesting aspect of Dundalk at the minute, where I think Shane Keegan's the manager, but the Italian lad's still there. You have Jim Magilton upstairs. Like, there does seem to be obviously a bit of a transition going on there. But what do you make of the whole managerial dynamic there? It's a bit odd, isn't it? Like, who is the actual manager? Is it Shane Keegan or?
Well, he's the manager on paper. He's the guy that's there on paper. Obviously, it can be a dangerous scenario that it's never really worked in the past anywhere that we've ever seen it. When you have, somebody who's in the dugout because maybe he has coaching badges or whatever that the other guy doesn't have. And, I'm sure Shane Keegan, we know, is ambitious as a manager. He started off with Wexford Youth, won the first division with them. He sees this as an opportunity, I'm sure, to maybe start something off for himself. So again, look, we don't know too much about the relationship between him and the Italian guy as well. So, and then you have Jim Magilton in there as well in the mix, who is upstairs, director of football or whatever. So, it's.
But interesting. It'll be interesting to see how that whole situation evolves and how they get on this season. Do you know what I mean? It'll be interesting. But anyway, Chief, we're 7 minutes out from kickoff. The Harps team, we'll go through it. Obviously, McGinley's in nets. I'll ask you about the back five. I think, is it a back five he's going with? He's got Boyle, Siddiqui, Webster, McElhaney and Russell. So Jiggy's playing 3 centre halves with 2 wing backs. What's your view on that?
That's what it looks like to me, Chief. Obviously McGinley in nets, McElhaney, Siddiqui, Webster, Boyle on the right, Russell on the left. A solid back five, I think, as you go. Obviously going forward as well, the 2 lads, Russell and Boyle, loads of energy, will be able to get up and down that side. They'll utilise Boyle more on the right side, I would say, for an out ball as well. I seemed to do it last week, with goal kicks and stuff, get him wide and try and win flick-ons and stuff. But like Siddiqui,
do you think they'll be told to bomb on, or do you think very much so Ollie's message maybe in the first half will be just tuck in there and maybe be a back five and be hard to break down?
I think that'll be that. I think they'll really have to manage the game. You still, you sort of take it in stages and sort of still be in the game. With 20 minutes gone, still be in the game at halftime. That's the way you have to look at it. Again. Our optimism last week might be trumped with a bit of pessimism this week. It's hard to know which way it's going to go. But when you go to Dundalk, the thing is staying in the game. And that just doesn't go for Fan Arts. That goes for every team that goes there. You have to stay in the game. You have to not make any mistakes. Mistakes are crucial, in games like this here, giving away a soft penalty or, maybe not clearing your lines properly, things like that. Those things are key when you're looking to, stave them off as much as you can. And like Ollie and the boys will be under no illusions from last week. It was a good 3 points at home, 2 goals, but this is a different test tonight, very much so.
Yeah, and before we move on to the midfield 3, I suppose the last time Harps were down in Dundalk, they got a result. They got a clean sheet. That's going to give them confidence. I mean, I know you have Seymour in there and a few other lads, but it's largely the same group of players that got that result, and that was a springboard for Harps to go on the run that they did. So, as much as a big test it is, Harps will be unfazed about it. But midfield 3 looking like Coyle, Seymour, McNamee, 2 lads hold them with Barry in front. Or
I'd say that's the way they'll shape up. All right, Coyle, I'd say Seymour might hold more. I can see Mark Coyle maybe, getting about more, trying to break things up, unsettle the likes of Shields, and McElhaney, who like to get on the ball and make things happen for Dundalk. And then, McNamee very much so will be trying to anything, attacking wise. They'll be the one who he's the one that Harps will be looking to, to sort of poke holes in that defense wherever he sees fit. Like.
Yeah, and then obviously Foley, who we mentioned, great goal last week. He'll be full of confidence, and O'Sullivan's been brought in as well. So good outball there as well, isn't there? Like, if Harps do have to go direct and do have to go long, two great options.
Yeah, well, you have the pace of O'Sullivan, that's going to be closing down. Like, obviously, we know Dundalk, and we like to play a nice brand of football and play out from the back and stuff, and he'll be there to try and, unsettle the lads. They'll be getting on, the likes of Cleary there and Boyle, and, he'll be the one that'll be doing most of the pressing, and I imagine Foley will be there, the big man, like, to hold it up as much as he can. A lot of experience in there with Foley and O'Sullivan to an extent too. He's been about a bit as well. As you mentioned earlier, the draw that Harps got this year and last season, for me, slightly. I know at that time Dundalk would have had an eye on Europe, the European games that they were playing in, and the team that would have started that night, would have been slightly under strength from what I remember. Obviously, and I know they raided the bench after that. But
one eye on Europe maybe at that stage in the league was sort of maybe out of their grasp. So yeah,
that's what I thought. Yeah, Rovers sort of seemed to have it won at that stage, and although any side that Dundalk puts out is a very good side.
Yeah.
But I think, like, if Harps could get a draw tonight, if we're talking about predictions and maybe what we think are going to do, a draw tonight again would be a brilliant result. Absolutely brilliant.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And this is another generic question I have to ask you, like, but where do you think the game's going to be won and lost? Like, for me, I think middle of park's huge because they need to stop McElhaney. I think obviously Hoban, massive threat, and then you've got Duffy as well. So a real big shift in there. I think I'm looking at this from a midfielder perspective from Coyle and Seymour, because if he wants Boyle and Russell to sort of sit in a little bit as a back five, that means the two lads have to get out to press and come back in. So it's going to be a massive, massive shift.
Very much so, Chief. Like, I remember as well going to Oriel Park. And I think in back-to-back games, we might have picked up 2 red cards, a type of way, like, so just for silly things. Yeah, I think it might have been Russell the last time we were there, picked up a red card, and that's the last thing you need. You can't, Dundalk at any time, with 11 men is difficult enough. When you're going with 10, and it might have been something like after 25 minutes, and you're like what a mountain to climb. I think it ended up maybe 4. It could have been 4 or 5 that night. It wasn't
4 or 5. And is it all about just getting through that first 20 minutes? Because they are, they start in the front foot and they'll come out of the blocks, flying. And obviously Harps will take on that role of being a little bit conservative, and sometimes that can play into the opposition's hands because you're being a bit apprehensive. So first 20 minutes is key. Same, again, another generic term for me, but it is so true. Like, if they can stay in the game,
and again, like, just I think mistakes. I think they just capitalize so much on mistakes. Like, as we say, poor clearances. Not getting enough on them, or maybe not getting a shout from a man on, or things like that. There, a team of their quality just capitalize. Like, when you the likes of Duffy and McElhaney there, and Hoban will be like prowling around. Like, they've got so much quality, and if you don't get like an 8 out of 10 or a 9 out of 10 from every Harps player tonight, it could be difficult.
100%, Chief. 100%. It's going to be a tough night at the office for them. That's 100% sure. I'm just sorting out my link here now. Got it going on the side. Do you have yours up there? I hope we're not behind or anything like that. McGinley could be in for a busy night as well, lad.
Very much so. Yeah, he could be. If his, like, again, it's one of those ones where Ollie will make sure that, and I'm sure this term will have been thrown around all week, there'll be no lads smelling themselves from last week's performance. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There'll be nobody smelling themselves, because, like, it was put to Ollie there last week. I saw the interview with RTE, and they were being said that, or it was being said that, a massive shock result. Harps getting a win, Longford getting a win, and it was basically, and sorry, Drogheda was getting a win. A totally, uneducated kind of view on it. That RT basically, I thought from last season, looked at where the teams finished, and then thought, oh, they shouldn't beat them, they shouldn't beat them, they shouldn't beat them. You know, like
Nonsense.
the draw result, you know, was coming. I felt that they were going to beat them because just maybe such a young and experienced side. You know, the Derry one, you know, yet to see what Derry will, you know, it could have been one where Derry maybe took them a bit lightly. Longford very much the underdogs at home. They were going to give it a real go. And it turned out that, you know, that they got the result. And the Harps one, you know, as we saw, it's, you know, it very much.
They beat Bulls last season, Cowan. Like, you know, went to Daly Mount and won 2-0 last year. So it wasn't like this crazy result. I thought it was a sloppy sort of assessment from your man, like, but bad result for Derry though. But again, season openers are tough, you know, aren't they? Like, you know, you're still new players come in, you're getting the feel of things. Pre-season friendlies can be very false, and nobody really takes them.
Very much so.
100%. Very much so. 100%. So looking forward to the match tonight. You know, that's the main thing. Hopefully we can get a positive result.
Yeah, definitely. A lot of changes, as we mentioned. A lot of changes on the Dundalk side, you know, and again, they'll be a bit ruffled from what happened to them last week. So hopefully we could, you know, that's another positive one for Harps.
Tony McNamee, Chris Shields is the main man for Dundalk, best midfielder in Ireland for years. Stay tight to him. Well, I hope you had a word with your son, Tony. Because he'll probably be the closest to him tonight. But hard to argue with that, isn't it? Like, top player Shields, probably, I would argue, probably a bit underrated. Don't know if you'd agree with that. I think he's a top player.
Yeah, like, you know, I think it's kind of one of them ones with him. There's not much, you know, he's a no nonsense, not much flair, but very effective. You know, and with his physicality as well, you know, playing in the middle of the park, he just not much seems to get by him. But, you know, he starts attacks, he can break things up, he's got real quality, and he just, you know, one of those ones doesn't give it away. Mr. Dependable. It'll be a way of summing him up for me. Like, and, you know, since he was brought in, sorry, go ahead, Chief.
No, carry on, Chief.
No, I think like since the stage he was brought in, kind of a bit of a, not, I wouldn't say an unknown or anything like that, but, you know, would have been revered with having not much quality. But he's definitely proved wrong, and the fact that he's been with Dundalk for so long now, lifted trophies, you know,
top player. I just think, obviously, as you say, he kind of goes under the radar a wee bit, playing alongside the likes of Richie Towles, your Paddy McElhaney's. Those lads get the headlines, but I'll tell you what, they're a poorer side, Dundalk, when Shields isn't in it. And
very much
one
so.
of those players.
Very much so. Yeah. You underway, Chief? I'm on here anyway.
I'm underway here as well. Green kit, lad. What do you make of it?
Green kit. I'm not a fan, to be honest. I always prefer Harps away kit and white. I think
the whites are flat. White and blue, keep it simple.
Yeah. So yeah.
No, blow it up.
From McGinley anyway gets Harps up in the final third. Could be the only way that we get there, maybe tonight. Surely not. Stay positive with this. Stay positive.
But it's what, like, you've played against Dundalk a lot, Chief. Since Harps got into the Premier Division, like, what's the record like down there? And like, is it a case of just trying to stay in the match for as long as you can, like, and being realistic about it, without trying to be not ambitious? Like, it has to be a bit of realism as well, that you're playing against full-time players that have an embarrassment of riches. So, you know, from your experience of playing down there, what's it been like?
Well, like, for me, obviously in seasons gone by, you know, it was always a difficult place to go, very difficult place to go. And you had to, as you say, you had to stay in the game. You know, that was crucial, and not give away sloppy goals. And, you know, it just seemed like, I wouldn't like to say, you know, you were beat before you left the dressing room, but it was just kind of one of those ones where you felt, if these get going, we're in trouble. You know,
long night. It could be a long night, eh?
Very much so. Like, and at times it did work out that way. You know, other times, you know, when you come away there, and I might have done okay, but that might have been done okay and still getting beat 2 or 3-0. You know, so I just feel that, as we say, really difficult place to go. It looks like just Harps are just going to the game, that they're looking to push, that they're looking to press them pretty high here, not let them settle, which is a good sign. Like, because
that's lovely play there from Dundalk. Like,
yeah,
Do you remember the night, Cowan, we went to Dundalk in a pre-season friendly under Pizza and we beat them 2-0 at Oriel Park and we thought we were going to win the league, the first division?
Ollie should have got the blueprint for that game. I don't think we won too many games to start that season, but we went there, we beat them 2-0, that's right. We might have touched the ball.
Beat them 2-0. McHugh scored 2. That was the start. That was 2013 season. So that was the Stephen Kenny's first season in charge, and he was starting to build what went on to become a very special team, winning 3 leagues in a row. Yeah.
Like I think we could sort of see in that game what was about to come, and I thought the way that the way the whole Dundalk model has gone since then. It's what every other club in the league has been aspiring to, really.
100%. I remember Town stood out that night. I think he'd actually came back from Scotland, and he was playing for Bluebell, and Kenny picked him up. And I remember just the shape, his shape, like he was absolutely in phenomenal condition. And what a player he went on to be for Dundalk. But what do you make of the surface? I hated the surface. I don't know if it's got any better since that. That was a long time ago, but they're well used to training it every day. It's a big advantage to them as well, isn't it?
That is, yeah. Well, I suppose when you're used to training on that surface all the time, when you're playing your matches on it, it's huge. Like keeping the ball is, they just obviously they're so used to it now, and like they just they really do well at home. Like, to be fair, get on that Cleary lad, Chief. I don't know about you, but that lad with the hairband, absolutely shocking. Lads will be wearing hairbands playing football. They need to have the.
I need to have a look at themselves. Hey, fucking ponytails and whatnot. Who's this? Kieran Hart's not happy. Tony's on the bench. He was
Tony on the bench. Yeah.
Now Swanee Rovers and Mafia are out, and they're out in force tonight, Chief.
You be careful. folks. I seen them employing obviously Ethan Boyle there as well has the long throw, like, so they're obviously utilising that in a different way, like. Great tool to have, like in the armory, the long throw too.
That is, especially when Harps you have such a big side as well. Tony McNamee's agreeing with you, Cowan. He reckons Cleary's their weakest link.
Follically, obviously not follically, but yeah, on the ball, yeah, like possibly, like they have to unsettle them. They have to get at them. They have to upset the way that they want to play. So, like, it's good to see them pushing up here. Like,
I'm surprised. I actually thought that Dundalk would be, they wouldn't be pressing them this high up the pitch, and they would let them have possession. And then when they come to the halfway line, that's when they would engage. But no, they're not letting them play, which is a good sign. Again, probably goes back to that point we were talking about last week. Got that quality and experience in the squad. You probably have that bit more confidence to maybe take the game to them a little bit. You know what I mean? So good start here. I know it's only 6 minutes in, but decent.
Yeah, good to see O'Sullivan getting rattled in there to Leahy as well. He's not going to let him settle. Like, there's again, just looking at the way they're setting up. Like, they're looking to get Leahy on the ball, and even what Tony's saying there, football genius that Tony is. Cleary doesn't look comfortable coming inside. He very much wants to go out that way. So
yeah,
remains to be seen.
Good play there from Barry. Good ball. Corner, is it?
Yeah.
Throw one.
Great.
Good decent start.
Very good. Yeah, it seems good to see. Good to see Barry on the ball there, and very good with the ball at his feet. Very comfortable on it, and he'd be looking to pick a few holes there and Dundalk tonight, like, if he gets a chance.
Kind of. I was doing a wee bit of research. You're actually the last Finn Harps player to score against Dundalk. Just to let you know. I didn't want to mention it, but I said better bring it up.
Right.
1 each. Game finish 1 each.
Finn Park, yeah. 1 each, yeah. We should have beat them that night. We very much should have beat them. 1-0 up after about 20 minutes or something like that. I think it was a corner from Raf, I think it was, and managed to get Gartland out of the way, which didn't happen too often. So, But I think on the other end as well, it was Gartland scored the equaliser, and I was marking him. So
oh, did I see you cancel each other out? Did you?
Yeah, unfortunately.
Ollie probably focused more on the fact that you lost him for the goal rather than you scored.
Yeah, very little in terms of good header. It was more just that good attack.
Not good, lad. Not what the fuck.
The big Albanian keeper taking a few chances there, anyway, Chief.
He is.
New lad in.
Alan McGeady's commented there. He's a good friend of mine. He lives in Dubai, big Dundalk fan. So he reckons Dundalk don't like playing on that surface either. So probably a fair point. I actually think that if they had a better surface, it would probably suit them, because they are a good footballing side.
Well, you think, what the resources that they have, they will be looking to get something proper. And I'm not sure if there's anything about them getting a new stadium or whatever, but when you think about, I just remember the changing rooms in Dundalk are absolutely terrible. A tiny changing room.
Here, we're in no position to be probably slating the infrastructure at clubs, but the money that they've got through their European football and winning leagues, they'd want to be putting it into their stadium or doing something. It looks terrible,
Yeah, no, it's poor. It's poor, from the league's point of view, and they make it as uncomfortable as possible for visiting teams coming there. You wouldn't even get a full squad into the changing rooms.
I remember.
You sort of have to let the first lad get changed first, and then the subs would be in the shower, waiting until the other lads get changed, type thing, and the physio bed stuck in there too. But not a nice place to go. They do water that pitch obviously as well, but what they would do is they would water their own side, kind of leading up to the warm up, and then when Harps are going to warm up, they would put the sprinklers over on the Harp side, so they give you about 18-yard box to warm up in.
Aye.
But no, Hegarty was generally good at putting rights to that. If they were trying to mess about.
Oh, he'd love that. Start the war games early on. Hey, what's going on here? But Dundalk. I used to think it was a terrible AstroTurf, because there is good 3G and 4G pitches. There is fairly good ones, but that you've obviously played in a couple up north. Crusaders have a good one, and there's a few other teams in the north. But the Dundalk Astro, it's just not good. It's not a good surface.
Definitely not. The one Derry's put down there, obviously it's just newer, isn't it? They seem to try to go in terms of how long they're down and how well they're looked after. But yeah, look, we're talking about AstroTurf pitches here, so there's not much happening so far.
True.
Yeah, they're doing well. They're getting around them. No time to settle.
Oh, it's a good ball over the top. Duffy's it. Well done.
Getting in. McElhaney's got well back in there, yeah. Tied that up.
McGinley didn't want to pick it up. I don't think it was a pass back, but he took no chances and he sent it out.
Coyle's done well there to get back in. One I remember actually from a few years ago was Coyle coming back in like that and giving away a penalty. When he just took off his toe there.
One of the and he's caught him, has he?
Yeah, he's tried to get in and get back and win the ball, and he's caught him, give away a penalty, and then you're one down after 10-15 minutes, and then it's
Dundalk starting to stretch him a bit now. Here's a chance. Oh, great block. Who's that?
Sorry, come wait. Is that Webster, is it? Yeah. Great block.
Super block. I don't know if I'm a wee bit ahead of you. I hope I'm not, lad.
I think you are, mate. I think you're about...
What are you at on the clock? I'm at 11 minutes, 25 seconds.
I can go back in here.
Good opportunity there. Dundalk are starting to get in behind them. That's twice they've got in behind Eaton Boyle.
Yeah.
Duffy's a tough operator. Good block there.
I'm very surprised Duffy stayed. He was one I thought when when those lads were leaving, the lads that we sort of spoke about earlier, I thought he was going to go too. With the likes of Flores and going to England as well, going to Holland, and I think they're in League One. You thought that it would be an opportunity for him to go too. He scored a couple of great goals in Europe. He was okay in the league, but I thought he would have been one that But I think he got weighed in, as the term goes.
Probably. And it's just one of them too, where Duffy spent, he went obviously to Celtic, and he had a spell across water. Didn't really work out for him. He's probably rebuilt himself here, so maybe he doesn't want to jump back into that opportunity just yet. Because as they say, sometimes the grass isn't always greener on the other side. But he's definitely capable of, I think, of playing at a higher level. So and he's still.
Yeah, he is, and I suppose he knows. He made the step, I suppose, when he went to Celtic that time, and that maybe just didn't work out, obviously, the way that he wanted to, and he's come back, and he's, as you say, he's rebuilt it to set Sloggett, is it? Just blazed over there. Offside.
Yeah.
Yeah, so chance there for Dundalk. You would have thought they might have done better with it. Snatched that a bit Sloggett, like he got in there. But here we'll see now, obviously, Harps aren't playing out. They're going long. They're trying to hit the big men and sort of play in the right areas, which you have to do. There's no point taking chances. There's no point fighting yourself behind.
100%. Because Mark Anderson said that the press from Harps is good. It is.
It is very good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but that's a difficult one. What that press, like when you're putting that press on, you're probably, it is a little bit open, and Dundalk have got in behind. Like that was a great chance. It's a brilliant block from Webster, but it was a good opportunity there.
Yeah. And like I'm sure it'll be said to the boys, like the lads playing up top, they have Shanley on the bench, they have Boyd on the bench. Ollie'll have them like go out, lads, and give it absolutely everything for an hour, and we'll make changes, like, so they'll be instructed to get about them to unsettle them.
100%. I suppose like last week, there's an opportunity here, stretched again. Too much on it. Happy enough with that.
I think I'm ahead of you now, Chief.
Are you? Jesus.
I think I'm on 14:42.
I'm on 14:30.
So,
I think it must be like that with everyone, is it? It's a bit. I'll refresh here and see. Hopefully, I'm getting tired.
Yeah, another long kick out. Like, but Harps have to be challenging for them. Those kick outs, because they just give possession straight back to Dundalk. Like, so if you're going to go long, you have to make sure that you're challenging for those headers.
100%.
Very much so.
I thought Coyle was excellent last week in the middle of the park, but another man that was brilliant last week was Ryan Connolly. Misses out through injury, so disappointing to lose. We talked about trying to avoid injuries and all that sort of stuff. That's a blow to lose. Conor Barry got injured as well, but I thought Connolly, his experience, his quality, I thought he was excellent, looked fit. So it's a blow to lose him.
Very much so, and it looks like it's going to be a long-term one there as well. So,
is it? What's the prognosis? What are they saying?
I think it's a hamstring, so it is. So it's going to be weeks anyway.
That's clear there from Seymour there.
Yeah, well, that was a nice wee spell from Harris. They were keeping the ball there, and that's something that they're going to have to do. Like, they're not going to be able to just press and they have to be, once they get the ball, put 9, 10, 11 passes together and try and keep it as best they can, because if they're chasing the entire night, they're going to run out of steam. And
it was great hold-up play there. He's done well. They've gone out the other side, and Seymour's passed it straight out of the park. See that square passing? It's not easy as it looks. I'll
have to get on him during the week, Chief, and give him a few lessons.
Fucking straight pass, and he's played it behind him. Nah, not good enough, Seymour. Not good enough, Chief.
Free kick into the box there. Kind of caught. I don't know if Boy saw it late, but he's just kind of not.
He's got
there. So. And they play a good press. You can press them in there now.
Aye.
So Cleary on it. Yeah, Chief. That you've got that sideways pass down to a T.
Hey, I'm telling you, it's not as easy as people make it look. Just saying.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Yeah, not good. Shields on it now. Trying to get Dundalk down the right hand side here.
I think we're at the same level here now, are we? 17 minutes gone on the dot.
No, I'm 10 ahead. I have 10 seconds on you.
Jesus, is annoying.
Yeah. So boys headed back to a BB. Would I be right in saying a BB?
Keep 30. Crap.
Yeah, so
that's an interesting enough comment from Kevin Lauder. Thinks Harps need the next one in this half because the second half will be tough. Will be against the wind, and then, as he says, the energy will start to decline. I suppose it talks about the substitution. And I suppose it's a nice if you can nick one, but it's easier said than done.
I see Kieran Hart on the defensive for you straight away. Shorty's on to me here about abusing you, Chief. Can you not be nice for a change? Obviously, you and Shorty have this new bond out there in Dubai. Like when the rest of us are here shivering, you are there kicking back, having beers in the heat. But
that's it. That's it.
Kieran, me and you were mates long before this man was ever talked about. That's God, the one that I. Good ball in there from Duffy. Out for a corner, is it? Yeah, corner Dundalk. Derek Toomey, the referee tonight as well. Not convinced on him.
Not a good ref, Chief. Now, what's your experiences of coming against him?
Very. He kind of very much goes with the flow. He very much backs the favourite in my book, from what I remember.
Oh, does he?
Obviously,
does he?
Yeah, I just never remember getting too much off him. Like, you just see those referees. That you play a corner here for Dundalk, and we will just, watch this.
Yeah.
Is it they're going to get it back in here again? Along the end line, they got a throw in. Yeah, clean, danger clear. But yeah, just one of those refs where you would have thought when you saw him, you thought we're going to be in for a difficult shift tonight. If this isn't going to be difficult enough, then it's for some.
I think people are saying I'm about a minute behind.
A minute?
I think that's on the Facebook Live. I don't know if that's in relation to the match. I don't think so. But Tony McNamee says you're about a minute behind, Mark. But Kieran said you're always like that. So the Swilly Rovers. Hey, is there nothing happening in Ramelton or what when everyone's watching the game? Hey, Jesus.
You're an easy tiger for the Ramelton, man. Just love hammering you, Chief.
That's it, hey.
Cross in there from the left, out of play from Dundalk. Good stuff. Like to see that.
20 minutes, just to reflect, 20 minutes gone, bar the Webster block, nothing really, not much happening. Harp's comfortable. Ollie's going to be delighted with this.
Very comfortable with this, Chief. Yeah, they're not getting in behind them, not opening them up. If Harps just kind of get they're you can see this the goal kick here, they're going long again. If they could just get the ball down in that area, see these Mark Annie.
Do you want them to play out from the back there? So in that scenario, would you like the centre halves to drop off and split and try and play out?
So. I think it's an easier ball for the likes of Foley then or Sullivan to run off for, a smash, up from the goalkeeper. It's.
So you're saying change the angle of the pass rather than the goal straight?
I think so. And it's generally an easier ball too. It's not this big thunderous lump up from the back or from the goalkeeper. So I think they do have to sort of maybe work a bit more of an angle and try and give the lads a chance to try and do something. Yeah, Foley's got it. Harp's corner, yeah.
Good stuff. I think it's Mark Anderson said it's on Facebook, so I think there's a little bit of a snag on Facebook or whatever. But sure.
All right. Okay.
Not to worry. Reg Porter, definitely a troll. 10 defenders. What a genius Ollie is. I don't know what Reg is expecting. We're an away side and they're full time, so I think he's a Dundalk fan.
Well, play the system, if Dundalk are that good a side, then, break it down and, I'm not sure what teams expect to do. Harps are very much going to have a go here. Not as if to say that they're penned in their own box. They're in Dundalk's half and they're getting pressed. So, I'm not really sure what Reggie Porter's on about.
Reggie Porter's on the Porter, I think. Talking shit
regularly,
but very positive start. Hey, very positive start. But as you say, Chief, I'd say that's, and you know this better than me, but from playing against them, the moment you get a wee bit complacent and think, geez, we're in the game here. A side like Dundalk could cut you open twice in a couple of minutes, and the complexion of the game changes completely. So we'll not get carried away. But the first 20 minutes have been good, and Harps look comfortable.
Yeah, but again, you know, as I say, like this is the time now, I suppose, you know, that kind of that adrenaline and that energy of the start of the game will have, you know, slightly maybe ran out. I'm not sure if that's a free kick. Free kick, yeah, Boyle. You can see the free kick just wide in the left, dangerous enough area for a ball into the box here.
Yeah.
Not sure how he sees that, but McNamee,
that's soft, isn't it, Chief? I think that's a soft one.
You know, he's using his body to protect the ball there and to protect the flight of the ball. It's not, you know, but yeah,
I think that goes back to what you were saying earlier about this referee. He's
well, there you go. Yeah. Ball in from Duffy.
James Doherty's commented.
Away from Russell. Good header away. Yeah, so as I was sort of saying there, just, you know, like the game will have sort of settled now a bit, and this is where Dundalk will probably get into their stride a wee bit more, and you know that pressing energy will, you know, eventually die at some time, but they just have to try and stay organised, and communication has to be key at the, you know, at the back and through the middle. Sloggett there's cut out from Seymour. Oh, but I don't lose there. So yeah, Dundalk sort of upping it here, getting very comfortable.
They are. They're
ball in from Junior there, was it? We didn't go through the Dundalk team, so we didn't. Because
Dundalk, they're starting to, they're getting camped in the half a little bit.
Yeah, they are. They're starting to,
they're prolonged.
Starting to push ours back here a bit and try and make things happen. But
that's the first time that's the first time I would say Harps have sort of been penned back for the first time in the match. So just need to see this out.
Yeah, go kick there now to Harps. Get your breather. Get us up the pitch. I think that's what they're looking to do. Just a wee bit of shithousery of note there from Sean Boyd in the sideline. You know, went to pass the ball to the thing and just kicks it away.
Straight from the Michael Funston book of shithousery, that one.
Love a bit of that.
Hey, Doc said, can't get the game on here. Great to have the boys keeping us up to date. Feel it's a game that Tony should be playing in. Good on the ball and has the long throw in the locker. So would you subscribe to that opinion? Obviously, Tony McNamee, naturally quality player, but is it more of a case of you need, I'm not saying Tony doesn't work hard, he obviously does, but is it more a case of getting grafters in there, or what's your opinion on that?
Well, here, Harps mistakes from Dundalk. Oh, cut out from... That's Dundalk too comfortable on it there, so they were, and got away with it, but Harps had a good chance there.
That's a chance,
Dundalk trying to play out, got caught on it.
That's probably all he's probably identified that there is probably a risk there.
There is, of course, there's a risk. But if you're well organized, you can take that chance and you can, you know, squeeze 100%. And
it's a massive risk too, because it only takes one bad bobble and one bad touch, as happened there. Harps are in. I think it's Sullivan that takes his touch takes it too close to the keeper. So I think he'd be disappointed in that. In reflection, he's got to do better.
But you even take last week there, McGinty at Sligo, you know, trying to play out and too tight in there. Like he's played a straight ball into the centre midfielder who's pretty much at the edge of the box, gets his, you know, the guy picks his pocket, and then, you know, McElhinney has a you know, finishes, like, which is, you know, this playing out from the back. Yes, don't get me wrong, very much of an advocate for it, but sometimes a lot of these teams, you're playing yourself into trouble, and if you don't get out, like we see so many, you know, in the Premier League especially, obviously it's, you know, where most of us watch.
Arsenal do my head in, so they do. I'm a Liverpool fan, but Arsenal do my head in. Like, there's a difference between, you know, playing out from the back and then playing out for the sake of it. Like, if it's not on, then don't do it. Like, and I definitely do think some teams, you know, say, right, this is the way every team has to play, and you know, there's a lot of factors. Like, you need the players as well, but
just going back to your previous point there, Chief, when you're asking me about Tony, should Tony be playing? I said, should he be playing? Yes, but he definitely could be playing here. I'm not saying, like, I'd say it's a toss of a coin of who you play at times. Definitely could play in here. Tony will keep the ball for you. Tony won't kick it away. He'll try and stay on it. And as we kind of mentioned earlier, you're going to have to stay on the ball in these games. You can't just give up possession needlessly, because as we are seeing, and Dundalk's in the back end of their stride now, they are passing the ball around like.
100%, lad. I do think it's something we spoke about before. When you are going to places like that, like Dundalk, there is times where you've got to try and keep possession of the ball. I think Harps have tried at times, but been a little bit sloppy, like. And possession. Seymour earlier, and Coyle there. I think Coyle needs to play better pass down the lane. I know that was a couple of minutes ago, but
but they seem well organised too, Harps. Giving them good credit. Very well.
No, they're doing brilliant. They're doing brilliant. But as you say, as the game goes on and you're penned in, and those sustained pressure, sustained spells of pressure last longer, you do need a bit of a breather. And that's when, if you have the likes of a Tony McNamee on the ball, just controlling it.
Corner just put on the knock there. I feel Siddiqui's kind of gone too far. I think Seymour needs to be getting out there. Webster's had to go out there to pretty much to. Out to the left-hand side when Seymour should be cutting out that ball. Webster's had to come out far too far. Seymour
100%. Like that's the thing we were chatting about beforehand. Seymour and them have to cover those, have to do those runs. Like you want to keep your back five in there.
Corner to Dundalk was cut out, and another corner now. So we'll get a look at this one. Timmy having a word there with Andy Boyle and Webster, or is it Sloggett and Webster? But a handbags. Last time I was down there, there was a bit of handbags in the box, and I went to give I think it was Sean Hoare at the time. I went to give him a wee friendly push on the shoulder. I've deflected off his shoulder and caught him right up. Just because this corner comes on here, I'll just stick that away from Siddiqui, edge the box. Eventually away from Barry. Is Leahy going to get it down? Yeah, throw to Dundalk. Yeah, so I went to give him a wee friendly push and glanced off his shoulder and caught him right in the ear. His ear's gone massive, swole up, all red. And the referee hasn't seen it, but the game was on TV that night and the cameras were on it. And I remember just hearing from the folks who were watching the match, like you
were getting hammered with it.
The commentators were calling for Kyan to go, he has to be more experienced than that. Didn't mean I was just meant to give him a wee shove, but I've just flicked off his shoulder and a big
good lad too, Sean. Hey, Sean Hoare, he's obviously moved to Shamrock Rovers. I played with him at college in Maynooth. St. Pat's had a scholarship program there with Maynooth. So I think Sean Hoare will tell you I had a big impact on his career, and one of the reasons why he's doing so well. He'll tell you that himself. But brilliant player. He was only 18 then, and you could see he was destined to go on and play at a really good level. Jake Carroll was there as well. He's currently at Motherwell. Was at St. Pat's and top player. Tony reckons Barry's lost left side and now right. Put him in the middle and move Russell out left. Don't know if you agree with that, Cohen.
Yeah, I think so. Barry's kind of about everywhere there at the minute. Is he about to take a throw?
You kind of probably want Barry. You probably want Barry McNamee everywhere, though, don't you? You kind of want him popping up everywhere. You don't want to. He's that type of player.
I think
give him a free run.
He seems to has a bit of a license to go wherever he chooses here. See his Harps have a long throw. Ethan Boyle on it here. All the big lads up from the back. Webster in there, Siddiqui in there, trying to win the first one. Back to Boyle, hooks it in. Not a great ball. And
that's a poor ball there, hey?
Yeah, you need to have a bit more quality.
When Harps get in those areas, they need to make Dundalk defend it, make them work. That's too easy there,
Yeah, with those long throws as well, you have to be winning the first ball, trying to get out in front of Webster from the other side now. On the left-hand side. Harps captain come in last season. Apparently a great lad in the dressing room too, chatting to a few of the boys. He's very much settled at Harps and people seem to like him and
big character.
very important. Like, boys, Harps are at the edge of Dundalk box here, trying to fashion a chance. Coyle kind of Gary owned that one into the box. If we get a decent ball in here now, it'd be good. Great ball from Barry. That's the kind of ball you want. Just a bit much on it. Webster come out.
Decent spell, though. Decent response from Harps after that period of pressure from Dundalk.
Yeah, and now with a goal kick as well, they'll be looking to press again. Yeah, Dundalk continuously trying to play out. Harps trying to set traps here all over the shop. That's a big Russell getting across to Cleary again. He's going to Leahy like that ball out.
They're definitely
targeted. They've lost it again here now. Foley's in, block shot, block from Boyle. That's twice now they've coughed up in dangerous areas. So they have Russell on it again, almost on behind them. He makes a clearance. Yeah, so look, there's twice that they've tried to play out, and that's gonna upset
trouble for themselves. There's a real good press from Harps, like great response here.
Yeah, and that's gonna make them nervous too. So that's twice now that they've tried to play out, and twice they've been caught. You could say maybe fall into the likes of Foley, who a big man like that there, you kind of wanted, a ball wide into the box. That's where he's going to punish teams most. But, if that there falls to the likes of a McNamee or a Russell, he'd be shaping for a shot there, very much so. Yeah, sort of got out now and behind Harps. Ball into the box, cut out from Siddiqui again.
Siddiqui's brilliant, isn't he?
Yeah, solid lad.
He was colossal lad. I thought he was colossal last week against Bulls. He was brilliant. Gotta do better there, big man.
Yeah. No, really good. Like 35 minutes almost on the clock and doing really well.
Yeah, I mean, Ollie and Hegarty, they're going to be delighted because they've had a couple of chances as well. It's not a case of Dundalk have been captained in Harps half and they can't get out. Harps have had corners, free kicks, and a couple of really good chances. You could argue that Harps' best chance of the game fell to Harps. Do you know what I mean? Duffy's been quiet. McElhaney's been quiet. I think they'll be delighted. Real good press from Harps, isn't it?
Yeah, very much so.
I think that's caught Dundalk by surprise because I think Dundalk's probably thought, they're going to keep 10 men behind the ball. They're not going to come out of their half and we'll be able to play and pop it around, and it's not happening and they're struggling.
Very much so. I'm sure they would have thought that they would, again, I'm not sure. I'm sure they'll have done their homework and they won't take, Harps for granted in any way. But, again, just listening to Shane Keegan's comments, sort of the match preview, shot there from Mark Russell from distance, keeper's comfortable enough with it. It's very much the kind of, Harps at home and the way Harps play. It's very much like the fighting spirit is all that they possess. That's just simply not the case. There's definite quality in the ranks, and anybody who takes Harp lightly this year, I think are gonna come unstuck. Very much so.
100%. 100%. I think part of the reason I think Harps are going to do so well, obviously a number of factors, namely the quality of their squad, but I think they could make Harps a real fortress. I don't think anyone is going to look forward to coming up to play at Harps because of the quality that Harps have, the strength of their squad. And I just think if Harps' home form can be top notch,
Dundalk getting them behind here, crossing the box, Chief, just sort of cut you off. Yeah, cleared. They just Dundalk them behind there. But as you were saying, they'll be looking to make Finn Park a place where teams hate. And I think teams hate going there anyway. The pitch is narrow. They make it really difficult for teams. Again, the surface as well. Well done from a corner. Yeah, corner to Dundalk. Mark Anthony McGinley doesn't think so. But the corner stands.
Corner stands.
Hey, you're saying there, McElhaney was quiet there, Chief. For Dundalk, did you say McElhaney was quiet? He's on the bench. That's probably why he's quiet.
McElhaney's on the bench. Oh no, I didn't mean McElhaney. I meant what do you call another Derry lad that we were chatting about earlier?
Duffy.
Duffy has been he got on behind Boyle a couple of times, but he's someone we identified, like, at the start, and we talked about that. We thought, to get a move. I don't want to be the commentator's jinx here either, and he'll stanch one or something. But
Corner for Dundalk, headed over from Junior. Yeah, sorry, Chief, cut you off again there. Your mate down the Rosses reckons, don't ever apologise for cutting off, Chief. Ever. Don't ever.
I see Kieran McGrath commented, said, when are we getting Tony Senior on the show? We need to get the lawyers in for that. We need to get the lawyers in for that. we need to be well legaled up for that one, I'll tell you.
We would need to be, Chief, we need to be 10 minutes behind for that one. We need to be a delay going out. So yeah, for those 5 cents. But yeah, look, a bit of hoofball there from Dundalk. Don't see that too often. Cleary, landed one on the edge of the Harsh box. Good from Russell, that. Yeah, Seymour on it again. Nice pass forward. Again, just not getting on the ball and not be able to keep the ball for that, sustained period of time. Good from Coyle there, broke it up. You see more on it now. And side to McNamee. Good, get the ball wide to Russell. Gets a run to the front. It's going to get a ball in the box. Good ball in from O'Sullivan. Wow, just too much on it. It's out for a goal kick.
Good bit of play there, though. Good bit of good football. Yeah,
did really well. Held it well. We're patient, got it wide and got the ball in the box. And when you have Foley there, like, that's what you have to be doing. You have to get the ball in the box. So from wide areas.
Exactly. Good play from Clark there again, wasn't it? Breaking it up in the middle of the park. Yeah. Simple, but very effective.
There's Dundalk gone long, obviously unsettled by their previous messing about with it. And they've decided to go long now. So obviously a few nerves creeping in there.
Definitely. That's a good sign. They're starting to doubt themselves.
Yeah. And that's credit Harps for the way they've pressed, for the way they've got around them and made them uncomfortable.
Done their homework.
Yeah, very much so. But here, you're coming to a crucial time here now. You're coming to 40 minutes on the clock. You can't be conceding now. This is where you have to see it out to half time. Next 5 minutes is massive. Ball in the box and the Dundalk free header. Ooh, McGinley's coming for it amongst bodies. Nothing given. Surely you get a foul for that. If that's up the other end, you get a foul for that all day.
Well, I don't think it was anyone near it, to be fair, though.
Yeah, but it's just that thing where you've seen Hoban.
If you touch a keeper or even challenge a keeper, yeah, it's a free out.
Yeah. Good ball, a bit of pressure here. Late one from, is that Junior, is it? Yeah, McGinley remonstrating again there with Toomey trying to get his point across where he thought he was fouled, he reckoned, and he should have got a free out. Keepers are far too well looked after anyway for me. You know what I mean? Get on with Mark.
100%. You can't challenge them at all. Not that I'd be challenging too many keepers from set pieces. But definitely probably was a bone of contention for yourself over the years, Cowan.
Yeah, a few of them. Actually, just remember down in Dundalk and Hoban there as well, because Hoban fancies himself a bit as a bit of a hard man, and would very much.
Did he start on you before or what? Was he giving it the big one?
Remember a tackle on Kieran Gallagher. Remember that put Kieran out for a few weeks. Like Kieran's gone out. I think Kieran came out. I don't know if he came to punch a ball or it was one outside. Yeah, I think he came to punch a ball, and Hoban just went straight through him. He wasn't going to win the ball. He didn't try and jump, but Gals went to punch the ball, I think it was, and Hoban just runs straight through him, nothing given, and Gals taken off, I think, from what I remember. But
so there was a bit of intent then from Hoban, like, so he's definitely went to leave one on Gals. Is that what you're saying?
Well, that's the way that I saw it that night, because he didn't break stride, and he's, are
we behind? If Harp scored, sorry to cut out, just somebody shouted yes, and I'm confused now because I know we're about a minute behind.
Yeah, Harps just scored. Foley's just put Harps one up. Again, Dundalk messing about at the back. The keepers tried to clear it. Foley's closed them down. Harps are one up. Absolute shocking.
Oh, he's had an
coming.
absolute. I'm watching it in real time.
It was coming. It was coming. That's brilliant. What, like, I don't know how many chances.
They were warned like that. That has been coming. I'm a little bit behind, so I seen the keeper. I knew it was coming. The keeper's touch was absolutely stinking. Oh, like, we'll get the goal up here now.
Hopefully, give us a replay. Like, I don't know what the keeper is thinking about. That is, like, how many times have they got away with it? Like I said, I was kind of saying, I suppose, from the Harp side, this is not where you want to concede. Dundalk, absolutely the same. Like, why would you take any chances? Last couple of minutes.
Here's a replay of it now, Cowan.
Before halftime, we get no quick replay here, are we? Yeah, you play it from there.
Yeah. As you see, I thought because they'd got away with a few ones, they'd gone long and they were just they were forgetting about it. But
we're going to try and keep it
tight.
What
a time to score a goal, lad! What a time!
Great time to score. Great time to score. That's, well, again, I say that will have changed the team talk massively, because I don't think Ollie's ever gone in 1-0 against Dundalk.
7 at the back in the second half now. I stink the place out. Right, here it comes. So, like, Dundalk are comfortable here. They're in possession.
Yeah.
An out backwards pass. I hate those.
Yeah.
Goes to the keeper.
Keeper.
Keeper. It's an absolute wall ball touch.
Keeper's got the big brick on his foot there and just pops it back to Foley. And Foley says, you know what? That'll do me very nicely. 1-up.
That is unbelievable stuff. Like, absolute trampoline touch from the big Albanian.
Oh,
brilliant.
Say you want to be Gary Rogers. He never did that.
Yeah, Gary Rogers.
That's perfect.
But well deserved. There's, John Francis there's commented, well deserved. Harps are full value for it. You can't say it's been a smash and grab or totally against the run of play. Harps have been well in the game. As I said beforehand, with the chances Dundalk played or took in terms of overplaying, Harps probably the best chance of the game before they scored. So fully deserved to be 1-0 up at halftime, in my opinion. Hopefully at halftime. Sorry.
Yeah, like they've had Harps have had chances a game by Dundalk taking too much out of the ball, close to their own goal, and like that was just another example of trying to play when it wasn't on the play. Well, maybe it was on the play, and he's just taking an awful touch. Here's Harps.
To be fair, Dundalk are comfortable. Like, it's not even Harps have pressed. He's just taking it's an absolute trampoline touch from the big Albanian keeper, who's looked suspect all night with the ball at his feet. And again, it's one of those, like, when you insist on playing out from the back, if your keeper's not comfortable on the ball playing, you're going to get yourself in trouble. Go on.
Like we see, because we've seen it at the top level. We've seen it, there's a soft free kick as well there. That's what I'm talking about. There's Toomey there. He's just given a free kick for an absolute nothing. Sadiqi's won the ball, and you could say, yes, he was tight to him, and you always, run that risk, maybe giving something away. But that's the kind of free.
I'll tell you what, he doesn't give it at the other end. He doesn't give it at the other end if it's clearly or someone, not a chance.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah, it's probably, we're that far behind. There's probably 15 minutes to go in the second half, and Harps are 3-1 down.
All he's doing is after game press conference there.
They're a serious fight.
My stream's just gone there. Not good.
Arthur Lynch is commenting here. He must be listening to the commentary on Watch LOI, and he said the commentators are not giving Harps any credit at all, and said that they're going to park the bus in the second half. So just goes to show you, like, Harps will never get credit. Like, how can you watch this game and say that Harps have parked the bus?
Yeah, like, that's just snobbery in terms of what's been around the club. Like, Harps has gone there. They've set up against away to Dundalk, which is notoriously a hard place to go for any team. Like we spoke about before the game, they've gone 1-0 up. What, you want them to keep pushing to get 2 and 3 and 4 goals? Like, I don't understand. Like, they're going to park the bus. I imagine they will try and sit deep and hold on to it, but they'll still. I don't think that will change too much. They'll still try and keep the ball higher up the pitch, try and keep putting passes together. I don't think too much will change for them, and that's what they'll be saying. I can imagine what will be said in in the changing room at half time. Like,
just annoyed, as Arthur's saying there, like it is just disrespectful. Harps are, for me, and again, I don't think we're being biased, full value for the one. Dundalk haven't played well. Harps had the best opportunity of the match from them overplaying at the back, and then the keepers made another mistake and they scored. They've been well in the game. Of course, you're going to be under pressure at stages, but Mark Anthony McGinley hasn't had too many saves to make. Good block from Webster. So, what's your analysis on it, Chief? We're at half time here now.
Yeah, I'm very much with you there. Like, we can't say, there was a couple of times where Dundalk had sustained periods where they were on the ball. They were moving it around without threatening too much. They got in behind Harps, 2 or 3 times. But again, with nothing, like as you said, Mark Anthony hasn't had very much to do. He's the back 3 have dealt with everything, without the back 5, whatever you want to look at it, have dealt with most things. I just think if they are going to be sitting in, if they are going to take that step back, which they might do, which is natural because you have something to hold on to now. You don't have to go and score a goal now. You're ahead in the game. But the likes of Seymour, Barry and Mark Coyle they're going to be periods now where they are going to be under pressure, and they do have to get out. They do have to, get out to those wide areas. They do have to shift across, and there'll be a big second half ahead for them, for sure.
100%, absolutely. Like, don't want to get too excited, but if we hold on to this, we could win the league. I'm only joking, obviously, but
that's what I'm thinking.
Robert Love, that was a great first half performance. Foley top goal scorer in the league, and he says Europe at the end of it. But look, we'll not get carried away. But here, I think, as I say, without repeating myself, full value to be one up and great position to be in, and well deserved, I think.
Yeah, I think so. Stop them from playing, and at times put them under pressure, made them uncomfortable. What more do you want going away to Dundalk than that? Exactly. There, like I can't imagine now that there's going to be too much playing out from the back from Dundalk. To be quite honest, I think that ship has sailed, but I can see changes.
But do you not think they'll balance it a wee bit? Do they not play into Harps' hands a wee bit if they're going long? 5 at the back, the likes of Siddiqui, Webster going and heading it. They probably will. They stick to their principles. Those teams can be a bit like in your face, where they won't stray from their principles and they'll keep playing out from the back. They could go long, but I think it may play into Harps' hands a little bit as well. Although I do think they're overplaying at times as well. Maybe just a balance.
I think I suppose it'll be they might adopt it, going along at times. I think that they might have to, because you know what, they're not getting out too easy. To be fair,
but does the press drop off, Cowan? Does the press now drop off because Harps got that goal, and they say, look, don't be killing yourselves pressing. We've got the goal. Let's drop off and conserve our energy. Do you think that'll happen? What's your
this is the decision that they'll have to make. I think that they will be a bit more reserved. I think defensively that Harps are comfortable, so I think, unless that there's changes made, I think there'll be changes in the second half. I think, Dundalk,
as a former skipper of the side, right? Just put yourself in that dressing room now. Are you saying, hey lads, let's go and get a second, keep the press on because they'll give us another chance? Or do you say, look, lads, maybe let's just drop off and hold on to what we have?
I think you have to go with nothing changes there. I think what got us into this, got Harps into that position, is one that we've been solid. Once we've seen an opportunity to go and press, we did go and press. But other than that, there, we just stay as we were. Everybody staying focused, everybody staying concentrated, and so like I just think that cool heads. Obviously, nobody's going to get too excited about being one up, because we know how things can 100%. Change. Credit where it's due. Like Dundalk are a top side, and if they haven't played well, I think they'll know that more than anything. As we can see the goal here on the screen, we just see how bad a touch it is. It's a terrible.
It's horrible.
The keeper set it onto. He took a touch with his left and tried to hook it with his right, but go gadget leg. Fortunately not, and it's in the back of the net.
Look, it's been a great half. We'll take a wee breather for 5. I think is what you said, Cowan, is brilliant. Like, nothing really needs to change, and that should be the message at half time. Hopefully it is. But we'll take a wee break. I think we're going to play the season preview video, and we'll jump back on in 5. All right.
Super stuff. Yeah, get the tea on.
Wee cup.
Cover it up, you like to play your own game. Cover it up, don't let them know what you're thinking. I bet you never tell them how it feels. I bet you never even try to be real.
We're operating in an environment, we're a fan-owned club, we're operating in an environment where a lot of the clubs we're competing with have wealthy owners. We have a lot of clubs who have huge fundraising operations of their own. Our near neighbour Sligo would be one. We're talking clubs like Bohemians who have a membership scheme. We really need, as a board, the support of our fan base, and this is the best way we can see at the moment for that to happen.
Even try to be real. I'm trying to be real.
What was a good start Friday night?
Look, we had a brutal start there, so we won 14 games without winning. If that happens, there'll be no catching, you know, that type of way.
I bet you never tell them how it feels. I bet you never even try to be real. I'm trying to be
coming off the back of that defeat to Shamrock Rovers a week ago.
Don't let them know what you're thinking.
Surveys the
I bet
options.
you never tell them
Ruben
how
outside,
it
it's
feels.
Tuffy. Tuffy looks to lay it off. Ruben is on the edge of the box. Ruben's let fly.
Good morning, everyone. I need to speak to you about coronavirus and COVID-19. This is a St. Patrick's Day like no other. A day that none of us will ever forget. Today's children will tell their own children and grandchildren about the national holiday in 2020 that had no parties, no parades, but instead saw everyone staying at home to protect each other. In years to come, let them say of us, when things were at their worst, we were at our best. Earlier today, the government received further recommendations on the actions that we need to take to protect our people. These are in addition to all of the existing measures that are already in place. So with effect from midnight tonight, for a 2-week period until Easter Sunday, April 12th, everybody must stay at home in all circumstances.
All right, Chief.
Back on it again. But depressing news there, more lockdown restrictions, keeping our lid. But you don't worry about that, Chief, at all. You're flying out there.
Flying out there, lad. Yes, playing away and all. we have to get tested before every match and stuff. But no, there is a degree of normality here. Like we're obviously training. We have a match tomorrow night. There is still restrictions in place and stuff. But look, if you want to go for a coffee, you can, and want to go for a beer, you can. And no, it's good. So no, I know it's tough for everyone back home, but hopefully, things really do open up soon. And I was watching the video there of Ballafay and Navanny Street, and it's quiet. And the sooner the fans can get back in and don't have to be subjected to listening to us talking garbage, the better. But we'll do for now, I suppose. But no, it's all good. What's the story? You playing tomorrow, Cowan? Glentoran? What's the story?
Yeah, on tomorrow, home to Crusaders. So look, it's been kind of up and down the last week or two, but before that, it had been very good. So another big match tomorrow. Like, they're all big games now until you kind of go into the split. Like, so be hoping for 3 points tomorrow against Crusaders. Like, it's always a tough team for Glentoran to play against. And I'm sure it won't be much different tomorrow. Like, the conditions as well, not great. Looks like it's going to be a blustery one. Like, so it'll be tough for both teams tomorrow, definitely.
Yeah,
definitely.
Well, before we jump back into the second half, what did you make? Obviously, Stephen Kenny, former Dundalk manager. What was your opinion on the match on Wednesday? For me, disappointing result, but I was encouraged by a lot of what I saw. And again, hard luck stories. Nobody wants to hear them. But what was your view on it?
Yeah, like, I suppose, as Ireland fans, over the years, like, it was very much watchable. You know what I mean? Like, to take the small things out of it, like, it was a good game. It was, as you say, encouraging to watch, and a lot of good young players in there. Well, not even say good young players, but players with, haven't got much international experience. Some of them young, some of them not so young. Getting 2 goals, there's another positive. Thought the first one was a great goal. I thought his team selection, what he had to work with, was pretty much spot on. I thought, we tried to play, and there's times there, Robinson especially got on the ball in good areas. He tried to stay. He stayed in the ball a lot himself, and tried to make things happen for himself. I thought there's times he could have maybe popped it wide to Stevens, who was in good areas too. But they were high up the pitch, and they were high up the pitch controlling the play, which was good to see. Like, it's kind of one of those ones where, if we had the defense maybe of a year ago with that attacking threat or with that organization, you would have been better. Like, Duffy. Yeah. For me, Duffy a year ago would have went and won that header, and for the first goal wouldn't have happened. Because he's so at it. He's so dominant in the air. He would have. So that first goal wouldn't have come about for me.
Clark was poor. Clark was
just was on his heels a bit for that one. Where you need to be out and you need to be winning that header, and then I suppose the young keeper coming for a bit of stick, like for the goals. Like, but that's a level that you're playing at. That's this World Cup qualifiers. There's players of that caliber can do that to you if you give the opportunity. He's getting serious touch from it, like from. Well,
the only thing I would say to counter that, I agree with you. I don't condone the abuse that Travers is getting. It's out of order. But for me as a supporter, I'd be able to accept the mistake better because we know goalkeeping's an unforgiven position. But say if he spilled one, or he spilled a shot, or he hasn't claimed a cross or something, those are mistakes that you see happening goalkeepers in the past that will happen again in the future. But he's in complete control of that situation. He doesn't have to deal with anything. It's his positioning. And his positioning's so poor. Like, I mean, you can chat about Mitrovic's finish and its great execution, but if you think of Dinks, right, they normally go on the top bin. He's that far off his line. If you look at Mitrovic's, where the ball lands, it goes in the bottom corner. Yeah. So as much as a good finish from Mitrovic, when he gets his head up, it's not like he's only got an angle of the goal to work at. He just needs to get it in target. So for me, that's the more worrying thing for me about Travers' mistake was the type of mistake he made. If it's one where he spills a shot, it happens. That's the hazards of being a goalkeeper. But it's worrying for me that he was that far, like, off his line without having any awareness of it. And I was really poor. I don't condone the abuse he's getting or anything like that, but really bad mistake.
For me,
Turn the match.
He's not the first keeper to ever get chipped. You know what I mean? But he's at such a young age. You know, has something like that happened to him? You know, in training, or it's kind of one of those things. Is it something that actually comes into your head as such? Obviously, not being a goalkeeper, yeah, you expect it. Look, you have to be a certain distance from your goals at all times. But you know, when it happens, it's kind of as a player, when something happens to you once, it's kind of in your head, and you make sure it doesn't happen to you again.
Yeah.
So hopefully,
I get your point there. It's just for me, like sometimes if it's a shot, you're not really in control of that. The trajectory of the ball can change.
Yeah.
You can have a bad bounce, but he's in control of that situation. All he has to do is have a bit more awareness of where he is, and it doesn't happen. I know he's not the first keeper to get chipped, but again, I just look at the distance of where Mitrovic lobs him from, and he's just, I don't know. We'll not be too harsh on him. You know, I just think it really turned the game for us at a bad spot, and it was so avoidable for me. I know every mistake's avoidable, but I thought that was really avoidable because it wasn't that he had to, you know, deal with a cross or a shot. It was just basically sort out your feet. But goalkeeping mistake tonight. Has the Harps one up as the second half gets underway here?
Yeah, a couple of seconds in, the change from Dundalk. If there has been one, if I can just see what we've got.
Yeah, just a quick one when you're digging that out. Just Harps last man standing, get on it. And Tony McNamee's highlighted Adrian Fez has started a group paying Donegal Down syndrome €2 for every Harps goal. So unbelievable initiative from Adrian there. I'm involved in it. I know you are too, Cowan. So that's a brilliant initiative. Well done to Fez for that one. Makes a change from giving out on Twitter about not getting some jersey or giving out about bad customer service. So fair play to him, Fez, top man. So need to highlight that. Yeah.
Fez is like the scorn of the delivery services, or like the DPDs and the DHL.
He's not a fan.
Absolutely hammer them on social media.
Every day on Twitter, he's at it. And you know what? He's a great lad, but hey, nobody cares, Fez. Hey, top man, but nobody cares about your delivery issues. So give it a rest.
But a great initiative, and you know, he's got a bit of traction with it, which is brilliant. And I think it's up to now. So that's another €100 to the Donegal Down syndrome. Is that right? With Foley's goal.
I think that's what he said. It was up to around that. So unbelievable. Clever way, just a different way to fundraise, and it's an incredible initiative. So fair play to him for that.
Earlier, it's a win-win, Leo. So if Harps score, you're happy. If you're giving money to charity, if that's what it takes, it's brilliant.
One each. They've scored.
What about we streaming about here, lads? What time are you on?
I'm on 47, 45.
Well then, I'm a bit behind you. Can't be at that.
Set piece, lad.
I seen the free kick was conceded there.
And that's going to drive Ollie insane, because you can accept conceding a goal against a footballing side like Dundalk, but you don't want to be conceding. You don't want to be conceding a set piece, when you've got so many big men in there. I don't know if we'll get the replay up, but it looked like a free head. I'm not sure, Chief. I don't know if we'll get to see the replay or not. I know the watch LOI is not great for the replays, but terrible start. Fuck.
Yeah, not great. Terrible you'd be wanting to, straight after half time, you want to settle into the second half, and Seymour gives it away there. And ref up the. Is he giving Harps a free yet? Managed to give Harps a free. I think that's the first one, is it?
It's the first one of the night. Here, that's the team talk goes out the window 2 minutes in, doesn't it, Chief?
Yeah, very much so. Conceding from a free header like that. So, concentration is key. From those type of areas, and it's an area where you're really dominant. With all the big men that they have along the back.
Yeah. Exactly. Set piece, you don't expect them to concede from.
Bit clumsy from Mark Coy there. Is it conceding a free kick? As we just see
him back here now. So we'll get a better look at it.
The Bosch has us on the replays here. Watch
Have a
LOI.
look. I think it's a free header. I don't know who's marking him. It's definitely poor mark. I mean, look at that too. Like it's from a wide area. It's well out. Like it's not.
Yeah.
You wouldn't class it as an unbelievably dangerous position to concede a free kick.
Yeah.
No,
Who's
that's
that
poor.
now? Webster.
Webster, aye. Oh, that's
Webster.
poor. Have we been harsh on Webster?
Hooven with the cross him.
Have we been harsh on Webster there? Is it a really good header and a good ball in?
Well,
It's not
I'm
that.
sure.
We'll see. Have a look at it again. Like there's a good bit of pace on the ball, but he's headed it. He's well out.
Hooben's like not a big guy. You know, he's got to cross him, but you have to go and attack that. Surely there's somebody in there who's going to go and attack that ball. But
That's poor.
yeah,
That's
finest
a poor
ball.
one.
With a long second half to go, like this is very much now where you don't want to be conceding too quickly, and they just bought another free kick. Again, Derek's up to his old tricks.
I think I was a free. I think I'm a wee bit behind you again, but this is a very much a case of stay in the game, isn't it? Like just stay in the game for the next 10 minutes.
If you conceding 2 goals in quick succession like that, you know, then it's a real uphill battle. Like, but you have to sort of solidify now. If you can keep it tight. Good punch there from McGinley.
Yeah.
Not really getting the clear rustled on it on the break. And again, you give it straight back to them. You know, when you're on the attack like this, we have to have a bit of composure and try and stay on it and try and give it to somebody who will stay on it. And Doc's substitutions have seemed to.
Who did give us the substitutions, Karen? Who came off? Who came on? What was the story?
Don't actually have them, Chief, to be quite honest. But if we have a look, it was 2 young lads came on. One young lad came on there, and we're very young, number 15. It hasn't come up on the.
No, I haven't seen it. No, it hasn't come up on Watch LOI. So, Shane Keegan or whoever's making the calls in the Dundalk dressing room, as we said, we don't know who exactly is the gaffer there, but that's a statement of intent, I suppose.
2 changes there anyway, definitely. Who they are now, we're still not. If anyone else has any information, maybe you could stick it up there on the chat. But
was it Mark Coyle that gave away the free kick? I see Early Boy says it was never a free for Dundalk.
Yeah,
he thinks it was a soft free.
Yeah, again, it was a bit soft, but it's they're soft. But like if you get so close to a player and they drop to the ground, you know, when you're kind of in that hassling type of mode of trying to get at them, you know, it's an easy one for the referee to give. Like, and 9 times out of 10 they do give them. But that's what you get with Mark Coyle. You know, he is competitive. He does get about the pitch. He picks up bookings throughout the season.
His game.
You know, but that's the way that he plays, and that's why he's in there. He's in there to hassle, and he's in there so he won't settle on the ball. So
Kieran McGrath has given us the information we wanted. Perez and O'Kane have came on for Stanton and Junior. So Junior and Stanton got hooked.
Okay, so is that a midfielder and an attacker? Junior's off anyway. Junior was a Sligo last year. Big money move. What's
the story? Did you play against Junior? What do you
Derry? He was Derry before that. He scored a bag full of goals for Derry. I think he was top scorer that year that he was at Derry, and then he's gone to Sligo, and I think Sligo paid. He was waiting at Sligo, and from what I heard, he was on big dough there, and hasn't really worked out for him. Now he finds himself at Dundalk. Don't think he got
good move for him, but obviously hooked at half time. It's a statement of intent for Dundalk. I know they were obviously weren't happy with it. And again, I think that's a reflection. That shows you, you know, when you go to a place like Oriel Park and they make 2 substitutions at half time.
Yeah.
You know you're doing something right. It's just disappointing to concede a goal from a set piece. Like really, really poor. And Ollie will be going. Ollie's a stickler for set pieces, so he'll not like that.
And it's one where too, you know, like every time Harps do get a set piece, and anybody who knows or goes to the games will know, once, you know, a free kick from a wide area or a corner or some type of set piece, Ollie's very much reminding his back four and anybody who's picking up to be on their game, to be concentrated.
Yeah.
He shouts, he roars. So, that'll disappoint them very much.
Exactly.
So, well, and experience.
Dundalk, to be fair to them, to give Dundalk a bit of credit, rather than criticising Harps as well, they've started well. They're on the front foot. They definitely look like they have a little bit more about them. They're playing on the front foot. So good start from Dundalk, but if just an important spell here now, if Harps can, stay in the game, it's a big one.
Yeah, you can imagine whoever was giving the team talk, whoever it was, it would have been fairly heated in there. They would have been reminded about what they're looking to do this season and been going 1-0 down to Finn Harps and not being in the game, a terrible amount. They'll be reminded on no uncertain terms of where they should be and what they should be doing. So it's obviously taken effect early on here in the first half. Yeah, and I would agree with what Kevin Lowther's just said there in terms of Harps are giving away quite cheaply. Like Coyle had the ball there in a good area. And sloppy, he's got to be better. Your midfielders have got to use the ball better there, especially when you are under a bit of pressure and try and stay in their half. Yeah, it's hard. You don't want to make it. Siddiqui's trying to take one down. He's put himself in trouble. He's recovered very well. But again, you don't want to be taking those chances. But he doesn't need to take those chances, Yeah. Raf Kataro, as said, they came out on the front foot. Surely, next goal is important. Could be doing with the old experience Raf Kataro off the bench now for the last half hour, but he's playing for Real Tubber, as he told us in the podcast now. But good to see Raf's listening in with us. Chance here again. Never turn the phone off, Raf. Ollie be looking for you any minute of every day. If he thinks there's a chance of getting you back up the road for 5 minutes at the end of any game. He's only 44. He's got another couple of years left in him. Those Italians are flat tight. Mediterranean diet, say. That's it, man. As we just see here, Timmy's having a word with Siddiqui for something that he's seen. To be fair, you're chatting about the free kick. Toomey, since you've highlighted that, Toomey has given them a lot of soft free kicks, and he seems to be talking to Harps a lot. To be fair, yeah, he'll do that. That's what he's like. Starting to get a wee bit stretched. Oh, great save from McGinley. Point blank range. Ball clipped in behind for Hubin, and he's got a header on top. McGinley's powered away. That's a great save. Break here for Harps. That's Sullivan, is it? O'Sullivan's on it. Cuts back inside. To Coyle. Can he get it wide? And to Seymour, getting the ball wide again. Now Barry, can he get a good ball into the box? He does. And it's over the top. Is it a corner? Or it's still it stayed in. Barry has it. Good camera work there from Watch LOI. Fuck's sake. Yeah, it's giving me a replay when I don't even want one. Here, in fairness, Declan McGarvey has put up there, and so was Mark McIver. What a save from Mark Anthony McGinley there. Unbelievable save. Yeah, that's 100%. You need your keeper to be doing those a couple of times a season, and that's a great one there from McGinley. A free header, really. Although a diving header, but he's seen it. He's watched it all the way, and it's a great clip in. A great ball in. Game's starting to get stretched, Colin. Very much so, yeah. And this is where it's dangerous. This is where gaps will appear, and you don't want that. Maybe it's a time where you could be coming up on the hour mark here now. There's all I need to be looking to his bench and seeing, do we need a bit of fresh legs in there? Definitely. I think that's for everyone watching in, who do you reckon the sub should be if you were in charge at Oriel Park? Who would you be bringing on? Definitely think maybe freshen it up in the middle. I think the boys in there put on a good shift. Maybe we could see Ryan Shanley as well. I think he'll probably take off one of the boys up top. What do you reckon, Colin? Yeah, the amounts of closing they've been doing, and when I suppose when Harps haven't had the ball, never mind when they have had the ball. So Foley's bound to be tired. O'Sullivan looks like he's got a lot of legs, so you'd be looking to maybe leave him on. Yeah, Foley's probably the obvious choice up top, but and then you have like for like with maybe like a Boyd, but then you again, you know, Shanley came on last week, showed his pace, and that he's
Yeah, he looked good.
Shanley
Shanley looked very good.
But in the middle of the park, that's what for me. You know, the ball retention in the middle of the park hasn't been great. You know,
no,
so
it's been poor. It's been poor.
You know, the introduction of a Tony McNamee, you know, like for all Coy's work, as we were saying, you know, he does kind of maybe his quality on it maybe isn't what it could be. Seymour,
that's fair. I think that's fair.
Seymour hasn't impressed me too much. Now I must say, tonight, you know, passing it, he's given away. If we have a long throw here from Ethan Boyes, comes into the box.
Yeah, shot.
Head over and back, and it's gone over.
No, I would agree with what you're saying there, Karen. I think the lads in there have been industrious, like, and they've got about and they've put on a shift. But probably, you know, Barry's kept the ball quite well, but I don't think Coyle and Seymour, in terms of in possession, have been, you know, as good as they could be. So it could be perfect for Tony McNamee, maybe even a Ryan Rainey. You wouldn't know. I definitely think Tony should be brought on, but break here at Dundalk again. That's over. I don't know if I'm a wee bit ahead of you there, Chief, but goal kick for Harps. Yeah, I would see maybe Tony McNamee straight swap for Coyle, as Dylan Doherty said. I think Dylan could be right.
Yeah, like
you're not going to change the back five. Like, you know, that's not going to change. Like the back five will stay the same, I'd imagine.
Yeah, you know, I don't see any need to, like, you know, they need to sharpen themselves up because they're going to be under pressure here the last 20 or so. So, the last half hours, like, so you just it's going to be higher up the park where you're going to see changes from me, like, you know.
Yeah.
Coyle, you know, he brings you that energy that's going to be needed. Like, he's rattled about there. He's won the ball back very well. He's put Harps on the attack, you know. So
yeah, maybe Seymour, probably Seymour.
I think so, but again, you know, if Tony would be more attack minded, would he?
That's the balance. Like, it's one each now, so you know. Ollie's trying to balance it. If you take Tony on, is that a case of, you're looking to go for it? Or do you be more, you know, defensively orientated? He could push Ethan Boyle into the middle of the park and bring Folan on or something like that and push it back about that way. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
so you wouldn't know what he'll do.
Mark Coyle's won the ball back well again there. You know, put Harps on the attack and they get a shot away, which just goes wide. Yeah, like definitely an option. My concern there would be, when's the last time Ethan Boyd played centre midfield? You know what I mean? It's not, you know, I know his time at Shamrock Rovers and Linfield, he was very much a right back, you know, so you know, that's where he's played for the last 2 seasons consistently. So I wouldn't shake things about too much, you know. I'd say the gaps are starting to appear. I think fresh legs are required, but as Dundalk is going,
I know what you say. I know what you're saying. You don't need to make too many changes. You're probably better going like for like.
Yeah.
If you take off a Coyle or a Seymour, you know,
Harps in behind here, fully in behind.
Yes!
Chance for Harps.
They're scored.
2-1. Man can't stop scoring. Fully again. 2-1. 2-1 Harps.
I'll tell you what, that's a great finish, Chief.
Done really well again. Us talking there about Dundalk doing all the pressing, what are Harps going to do to nullify all their energy and then going 2-1 up?
That has come against the run of play, to be fair, but what a great goal! Like,
yeah, he's done brilliantly there. Absolutely brilliant. Great finish from the big man. You know, he's a scorer.
Replay up here, Chief.
A scorer of all types of goals, and as we alluded, that was Mark Coyes won that ball back for Harps, you know, and put them on the attack. And like, again, he's showed tidy feet there, and they've kept the ball and they've got it wide.
Yeah,
you know, Ethan's done well to get past. They've won it back high up again, have they?
I think it's not. This leads to a shot that Harps put on the side net, and I think it comes from a Dundalk kickoff.
Oh yeah, sorry, that was.
So we're a couple of minutes.
Any more?
So it's 60. I see
Ruben's
it's
just
the
picked
roll
up a
out.
book in there for Dundalk, probably for being a tube. So good at that. So yeah,
Whoa.
look here now things change. So your subs that you were going to be putting in, but I do think, look, they need to get some in the middle of the park, because you can just see the likes of, you know, the lads in there that are putting in a super shift. Like they are running out of legs. Like, and if somebody's gone down there now, is that Foley? Is it?
Yeah, this is the goal here now on the main screen. Great ball, super touch.
Yeah,
Well,
he
that's
steadied
class.
himself.
Here. That's different class there. If that scored at the other end, I know it's been discontinued.
Coy breaks it up, gets it to Russell, Mac to me, to Mark Russell. He's clipped it
Lovely
in. Great ball. You know what the defence are doing there. And the man steadies himself. Great finish.
It's a super goal. That. If that scored at the other end, hey, you'd be raving about it. Like, that's a brilliant goal.
It is
I do think, obviously, defensively, Dundalk are a shambles there. But
yeah,
he's a lot of work to do. Like, he takes a great first touch, a great second touch, and it's a super finish. Like,
very much. And I think a bit of Foley's down now with a bad leg. I think that's just a bit just to settle the whole thing. Very much again, Funston-esque shithousery there. As soon as a goal scored,
Mickey's loving it. Mickey's loving it.
Funsty knows you're at your most vulnerable straight after. He says, because you've gone from a level of here now back to here. So he says you have to be careful.
Everybody's buzzing. Everybody's buzzing.
Drop, get the trainer on. Everything settles down. Get your shape. Lads relaxed again.
Yeah.
Because
it just shows you as well, like, you know, big moments in matches. Dundalk were on top. Mark McGinley pulls off an unbelievable save. And, you know, 3 minutes later, Harps go down the pitch, and it's a wonderful goal. Like, and with 24 minutes to play here, we're 2-1 up. So definitely agree with you, though, Chief. I think needs a wee change just to freshen it up.
Yeah, I think so. I think just
a bit of energy,
tired legs in there. Again, we don't know where it's going to come, but you want somebody in the middle of the field who's going to be able to get about, because you are going to be under a bit of pressure now. But they still seem to be pressing, putting Dundalk under pressure. That's probably the first opportunity Harris have had in the second half. Would that be fair? Well, the first clear cut one.
Yeah, they had a shot just a minute beforehand, went in the side netting. But Dundalk, to be fair, started the second half really well, got their goal. Yeah. McGinley made a great save. But before that, Harps started to get, you know, a couple of little spells of possession. But what would, if you're a Dundalk fan, you've got to be asking, what's going on there at the back four, the shape? I don't know where the fullbacks are. And one centre half is 2 yards behind the other centre half, and he's playing him onside. So maybe you're better placed than me, Chief, to talk about that.
You could go to a lot of different options for that one there. Like, you look at, you know, as we talked about, new back four, not used to playing with each other, new keeper, you know, Albanian. I'm not sure how good his English is or how good his organisation is. You know, all those things, you know, could have played a factor, because they were, as you say, they were all over the place. It was a zigzag line.
It was madness. You know, it didn't really. They were well set up, but it wasn't like they were stretched or we had them on the counter attack. They were in possession and we won it back, and they were all over the place. So it's a funny one to. Yeah,
it'll not go down well, very much so. But the big man, delighted for him. Few of the boys up in Glentorna had played with him at Glenavon, said he's a top lad. So delighted for him that he's had a great start at a great start to this season, and you know, 3 goals in 2 games.
Unbelievable, that.
What a start.
Quality stuff.
Excellent. Absolutely excellent. But so just a massive, you know, miscommunication there from Dundalk all over the shop. And
I mean, it's nothing to take. You don't want to be. Yeah, I mean, you don't want to be taken away from the quality of his finish, but he does have, as I said, he does have a lot to do. But
yeah, like we talked about the quality of the ball that went, you know, for the Dundalk goal, like that ball from Russell, you know, brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Yeah. Right to him. He had very little to do in terms of control. He's taking it well on his chest, in front of him, a couple of touches out of his feet, steadied himself, and it's a great finish. High up under the net.
It's a super finish. It's a super finish. I see few comments come in. Daniel O'Donnell, he's got his Bonagee shirt on him. He wants Ryan Rainey on. But I
Right.
would say Shanley. I think he probably needs to take off one of the strikers. I know you don't want to take Foley off; he's on a hat trick. But O'Sullivan probably does have a bit more legs, like you said. So it'll be interesting to see what he did. But I was very impressed with Shanley when he came on, and I think the way the game's gone now, with Dundalk having to take a bit more chances, Dundalk are going to take a bit more risks now to get back in the game. Could play into Harps' hands in terms of on the counter attack.
Yeah, I think so. Like they will still create chances. Like Dundalk won't stop. But is it too early to be calling the beginning of the end to the mighty Dundalk?
The Dundalk project, I think, wasn't it Cretaro was more or less alluding to that he thinks he didn't say it in so many words, but he was like, there's a boom and bust culture in the League of Ireland. We've seen it with Cork City. Maybe we're too quick to say Dundalk. Oh, the Harps run again. It's a tight angle, obviously, but good strike. I don't know if I'm a wee bit ahead of you or not, Chief. But
you must be. What are you on, 70?
I'm on 70, 38.
All right, you're 30 seconds ahead of me. Chief, you're flying. Hanging on your coattails.
Not too many times anyone said that to me.
No, that's why I teed you up for that one. That's why you make you feel better.
But no, lad, just to go back to your main point, don't want to be reading the post-mortem for them, but the Dundalk glory days, are we being a bit harsh there now just because we're going to Oriel Park and getting a result? But 72 minutes on the 71 minutes on the clock, lad, and it's looking good.
I have 71-20 I'm on. So
I'm 71-24. Substitution here for Dundalk.
Yeah, is that McMillan? McMillan coming in for Sloggett, it looks like.
You've played against McMillan plenty of times before in the past, lad. He's a handful.
Yeah, I played against him probably when he was in his pomp before he got the move to St. Johnson.
Yeah, St. Johnson. I was flying then, wasn't he?
Yeah, like that was I think that Dundalk side that we sort of spoke about before. They had Richie Towell and Horgan and and those lads and Boyle before they all got their moves to Preston. Like,
yeah.
McMillan was just on fire. Like I think he was top scorer in the league that year. He was absolutely brilliant. Like, and again, a big man who runs channels, ball into feet, ball over the top. It doesn't matter. He'll chase everything, and nothing worse than that. Like,
is he mobile? Like for a big man, is he mobile? Or back then,
definitely was back then. Like as I say, there's kind of, as I said, he would take the ball absolutely any which way, and like he would drag you out of the box. He would drag you everywhere, all over the pitch. Like so. Definitely was.
After an hour of you trying to tackle McMillan, you'd have Kieran Kilduff or someone to deal with then. Like so.
That was it. That was the switches that were coming. I think I think that was the night that they actually gave us an absolute torrid time. They gave us real trimming at Fan Park. It was a really hot day, and I think chatting to McHugh after the game, he's chatting to Stephen O'Donnell, and Stephen was saying they've been threatening to do that to somebody for a couple of weeks, and it just turned out it was us. Like they were unbelievable side, really, probably the best side I've ever played against. In terms of the quality they had all over the pitch,
all over the pitch, yeah, serious team.
A really good side. I think it might have been 3-0 down after 20 minutes, and it just kept coming wave after wave after wave.
Horrible.
And I say it was one of those days in Donegal where it's just so hot, no air, pitch was so sticky, and you have probably arguably the best Dundalk side that's ever ever played.
You could say arguably one of the best League of Ireland sides, ever. Like they were top notch. Like what have you made of Dundalk's response since the concession of the goal? Hasn't been great, really, has it? They're panicking a wee bit. Like,
it's going to be too much, but I think this is Harps will be looking at it like they've maybe done enough. This is where you'll see it kind of not go blanket, but there'll not be too many ahead of the ball. They'll have one, maybe two players ahead of the ball from now on. Like they're very much set in. Like you think about how long maybe that you can defend for. There you go, Mark Anthony, comfortable catch, and he falls down and he's going to take a couple of seconds. This is game management now. This is game management.
The game management's kicked in.
Every opportunity, for every goal kick, every time the keeper gets the ball, every throw in, you'll see that game management will play a major part in this, because like Dundalk, we know, is a great side. They can cut you open. I think
Harp substitution coming up here, I think, Cowan, just to cut across you. I seen someone out of the corner of the eye. I seen somebody putting the shin pads on. I can't quite make out who it is. So
Foley's down anyway, which won't be,
I see that.
Won't be good news for Harps. But again, he's down on the pitch. He's going to take, if he knows he's getting subbed, he's going to probably use a couple of seconds here.
Yeah. Game. I think that falls into the category of game management again, doesn't it, Chief?
Very much so. Very much so. He'll take as long as he can here.
It's gone.
And rightly so. Rightly so. The amount of times over the years where you've been looking for a goal and lads you've been giving them the ball to take a throw in, and they let it bounce off their knee and go 10 yards in front of them, and rubbish like that. So looks like Folan. So you have a centre half coming on here, and so a double substitution for Harps. Looks like
so
Folan
Shanley for Foley. So who's Folan going to come on for? Be interesting to see who goes off.
Could be a case where they're going to push somebody into the middle of the field and then bring on.
That's what I said earlier. Do you think they'll push Ethan Boyd in the middle of the park, or will they put McElhaney in the middle of the park?
Well, I know McElhaney operated there a couple of times last year. So that's obviously an option for them.
We'll see now.
Well, Harps still have a throw here up in the level with the Dundalk box, so in the right area of the pitch. It seems to be Shanley coming on for McNamee. So it's Barry McNamee off for Shanley.
So right,
we haven't seen
it probably makes sense in a way. With 15 to go, they've got that goal again, so they're wanting to solidify what they have.
Yeah.
And try and hold on. And like Shanley's a great outball for you now. You're going to get 15 minutes of non-stop running from him. He's pacey. He's a willing runner.
So you've gone to... What have we gone to at the back? So even with the players, I tell you this watch at LOI is absolutely brilliant with the subs and stuff, having to squint your eyes to see who's that coming on. Like, how difficult is it to add in? Well, obviously it is difficult for like me and you, Chief, but I know a man who'd be very good at it. The Bosch should have these lads.
Yeah, Bosch would have put these boys to shame.
Yeah,
Anne Kelly, good woman, Anne. She said you boys are easier to listen to than the Dundalk lads, so there must be very biased commentary going on the Watch LOI.
100%. We're not biased at all, Anne. I know that's one thing you won't get from us, lads.
No, we're very impartial. Like.
So what have we gone at the back then, Chief? We've gone 4.
I think it's.
Wait, have we gone to a back 4? I think we've gone to a back 4.
So what is it? So the back 4 is what? Is he pushed Ethan Boyle up?
I think has Ethan Boyle gone to right back?
So Ethan Boyle right back, Russell left back, or has he pushed Webster left back, Siddiqui and?
It looks like he's pushed Webster further forward, but I can't really see.
I can't say. It's hard to get a bit of shape in it, but I know a good play here.
3, 4, 5. Yeah, so it looks like Webster's kind of gone to a wing back. I don't actually know.
He might have just brought Folan and Siddiqui centre half pushed. Has he kept the back 3? It's hard to figure it out.
But yeah, well, he's put on another centre half anyway.
There's another centre half on, so I don't know if he's pushed. If he
concedes a corner there as the ball just got out of his grasp, but so corner now for Dundalk. That has Basil McLaughlin makes a decent enough point. Yeah, back 10 he's gone with. Ollie's just going to keep it to a back 10 or back 11.
Raymond Foy's commenting, mentally tough now, just looking to get over the line, serious shift. Do you reckon Ollie is shouting work from the sideline? We're all well used to hearing that.
100%. Ollie's got a few works in there.
Hey, I've got to be honest, Harps look comfortable, and I don't want to jinx them, but with 10 to go, there hasn't been much of a response from Dundalk since Harps got the second. And again, as I say, I don't want to jinx it, but relatively comfortable. What do you reckon?
Yeah, this is a couple of corners now in succession, so they're not wanting to be as a Harps goal kick. Yeah, danger averted. Suppose conceding from a set piece will be disappointing for them. But yeah, since the goal's gone in, Dundalk have been relatively quiet. This is the new South Korean lad who they signed earlier in the week.
Yeah, I've seen that during the week. Yeah, so he's on making his big Ireland debut. First touch for him here.
Yeah.
Oof. Great ball, on. I think I'm a wee bit ahead of you again, so I'm sorry.
You're ahead again, Chief. Yeah, that's new Han Jong-woo. Played his football in Kazakhstan, I think, before making his way to Dundalk. The team he's playing.
Kazakhstan, I'll tell you what, it's a truly global game, isn't it? Like from Kazakhstan to Dundalk, like how there's not a natural pathway normally for players from Kazakhstan to the League of Ireland. So it just shows you how.
But then again, the lad from the Faroes that they signed as well, another new signing, that Sonny Nastad or Sonny Nastad, I'm not sure of his name. He's on international duty with the Faroes tonight, so they're missing him as well, which is a big miss for them, and obviously an international, so he's not there.
Yeah,
the Latvian lad as well, they have not there tonight, obviously on international duty as well. So when you take two internationals out of any team, it's going to make a massive difference.
100%, mate. Absolutely, definitely.
So,
got a comment there from Mike Regan. Paddy, I don't know if people watch the Paddy McCann podcast, but Mike Regan featured in that. So
yeah,
I guess
the most American man that we ever seen. Is that
the most American man ever? I guess that settles the debate that Dundalk couldn't do it on a cold, wet night in Ballybofey. Well, Mike, it's actually in Dundalk, so that sums up. You're still the plastic you were when I met you 7 years ago. You're a fraud. Get off this thread.
Yeah. Great ball from Dundalk. Oh, is that a free header? McMillan took his eye off it. Maybe Foley just got enough to take it away from him.
I think he did, hey. Look at these. Bit of trolling going on here from boys.
Bit of trolling. You get that. Some boys are
it's random fake YouTube accounts. Like, I don't know what's going on here, but the Bosch has.
Bosch is dealing with them, is he? The Bosch
is dealing. The Bosch is dealing with them.
You've been Bosch.
McLaughlin.
Is that a free kick? Oh, Mark Coyle. Has he picked it? Has Mark been booked already? No.
I don't think he has.
No, Toomey's out with a yellow anyway, so he has been now anyway.
He couldn't wait to get the yellow out. He's been itching to get that out all day.
Yeah, so Duffy has the ball now. Probably a bit too far for a strike, yeah, you would think. But it's going to be a set piece that Harps are going to have to deal with here.
Yeah. Brilliant performance from Harps, Chief. To be honest, I think they've been absolutely brilliant.
Well, it shows you where it's come from. When you're going to Dundalk and you're leading like into the last 10 minutes and being comfortable, ball in the box away from Boyle, falls to Siddiqui and he does, cleans up the rest. It's Harps back over the halfway line again. Yeah, quick throw from Shields back to Domigan, I think. Plays back to the keeper. Yeah, so it's just it's a massive, not want to say statement, but it is in a way too. We can go there and be competitive.
It's a serious statement if we can, without tempting fate here, if we can hold on, like
Yeah.
to beat Bows at home and then follow it up with a 2-1 victory at Oriel Park, Ollie's going to have some job trying to keep the optimism levels, under control.
Keep that settled.
He'll be there. He'll be there, lads. If anyone says anything in the press, you'll not play for me again.
I just think, as well, like a result here, as we said before, a result here of any kind would be absolutely brilliant. But when you look at the games you're going into Drogheda, Drogheda away, you're going into then Waterford at home, you're going into games where you'd be looking to pick up maximum points as such, so like with those two fixtures coming up next, like anything here is great, but it's looking good. Again, not to tempt fate. 5 minutes to go plus whatever they decide to add
whatever
on.
he adds on. Yeah.
So it could be a great result. Absolutely.
Just
brilliant.
a really like just such a professional performance from Harps. Like every player just knows their role, their responsibilities, and I know the first one was a really bad mistake from Dundalk.
Yeah,
it was a great second goal, and like outside of that brilliant save from McGinley, Harps are going to be disappointed with the goal they conceded. It's a set piece. They could have dealt with it a lot better. Webb still be disappointed. So over the course of the game, for me, Harps full value, value.
Definitely doing really well here at the minute. And again, Dundalk, like they're playing the ball, but they're not like they haven't under Harps under any real pressure here.
It was a bit like last week as well, where Bows had a lot of possession, like had a lot of ball, but didn't really hurt Harps. Harps were happy enough with them playing in front of them. Still think Harps are dangerous too, on the counter.
Balls there now, they're dropping balls on top of Siddiqui and McElhinney and Folan and Ethan Boyle and Webster. They're going to eat that up all day. So it's looking okay, looking pretty positive here. Very much so.
And we figured out what
there, Chief? What are we
looking
looking
at? Comments coming on. Tony McNamee, every time the South Korean gets the ball, the commentators go mad with love for him. So the Watch LOI commentators must be very biased. Mark Coyle, unreal. Where did Harps get the money for all these new players? Says Baza McLaugh.
500 Club. The 500 Club are selling tickets.
500 Club flying.
Get
involved. Is that Barry McLaughlin? Is that the Union's guy, man? Is he? Seen Michael Miller on earlier as well. There's a few guy heads, so we need to be careful. There's a few men behind.
Why are we seeing a? What are we looking at here? Our streams must have been behind, or somebody's hijacked the computer. Yeah. Whale hit the post there. We didn't cover that one, Chief. We're looking at the comments. And Doc has hit the post. The ball went wide, and they've got a corner now. So, chance there for Dundalk. They're pushing here. They're not giving up without a fight, as we would expect. Ball comes in, headed away from Mark O'Sullivan. He seems to be just doing the hole there and going attacking the ball.
What minute are you on, Chief? Am I behind you? What are you at?
87-43.
An 88. Harps goal kick. Perfect.
Take that. All looking good. All looking very good.
All the comments coming in, people are happy with it. Paddy Brahan giving us a bit of stick. What would you know? I'll put you on the deck. That's a friend of mine. He's actually a Shamrock Rovers fan, so he should be actually happy that we're
doing them a favour.
We're doing them a favour.
Yeah, for sure. Emma Bradley up the Harps. Tony McNamee, is that Elite Sport you're chatting about? GAA, ha ha ha. Well, Tony, see, this is the problem.
Wouldn't be like Tony be on the wind up. I hope Tony's all right. Tony, actually, I hope you're all right. I know Derry got beat last week, and you're a massive Derry man. and you've
That's
lost
it,
2-0
yeah.
to Longford. So I hope you're okay. It would have been a difficult week for you, so keep the chin up there, lad.
That coat changes every week. It was a Harps coat this week. I saw him with.
Aye. Oh, it'll be all Harps now, 2-1 in the bounce. Ah.
Tell you what, top of the league. We are top of the league.
It's our league, to be honest, without getting carried away. It's our league to lose now, to be honest, isn't
I
it?
think so. Yeah.
It's
definitely.
our league to lose. I'd love if somebody said that to Ollie now, like being all serious. Like you're installed as the favourites to win the league. Like, what are you on about?
Shanley took up a book in there, but a shithousery. Kicking the ball out. Big Sheensy didn't like it. As we go into the last minute, we just actually watch the end of it here now, so we could.
Aye, we'll watch the end of it because I think the Bosch has put it on the screen for us here, so we'll be both up to speed. We'll watch
know
it
exactly where we are.
Paddy Brahan giving us a bit of stick again. I was the mascot for the mighty Bray Wanderers against Finn Harps back in the 90s. You were a small-minded club then, and nothing appears to have changed. So Paddy's just looking for a bite there. So any Harps fans, don't be reacting to him.
Yeah, no.
He's a Shamrock
Bray fan,
Rovers
is he?
fan. He's a Shamrock Rovers fan, but he's from Kildare. You know, he's one of those. He's a fraud, like.
Right.
You know, one of those. Not a real, like, he wouldn't frequent Tala too often, if you know what I mean. Goes there now because of a nice shiny new stadium, like.
Very
So, a proper fraud. So any Harps fans don't react. Yeah.
Okay.
Terrible goalkeeper. Terrible goalkeeper.
Yeah, a few questions will be asked in the Dundalk changing rooms tonight, for sure.
Tell you what, Chief, there's going to be serious questions asked of what is going on at Dundalk. Like, I know it's only 2 games in, no need to press the panic button, but 1 point from 6. The whole, Jim Magilton's director of football, who's the manager? Is it Shane Keegan? Is it the Italian guy? It'll be interesting, Chief.
Yeah, very much so. Very much so. I think, obviously, we did mention that they are. Look, Dundalk should be taking nothing away from Harps. Absolutely nothing. They've come and done a great job here tonight, and look like they're going to do a job on Dundalk. But missing a few players. McElhinney not there. I'm not sure why he hasn't appeared. Must be injured. The 2 international lads that we spoke about.
Yeah.
But Dundalk haven't played well. Played well.
They haven't played well, Chief.
Harps have done a great job on them. Absolutely. Game plan, expertly carried out here. Still loads of running. Brilliant stuff. Absolutely delighted with this.
It's quite. You know what, Chief? I know you've highlighted the players Dundalk are missing. You still got Shields, you still have Duffy, you've McMillan on there. Like, a lot of quality, a lot of experience there. And the onslaught that I expected here in the last 10 minutes, or even the last 5 minutes, it hasn't happened. Like, Harps are that well organised. Dundalk haven't been able to. All right, I know they hit the post, but I would have expected more pressure than that.
Yeah,
and Harps deal with everything comfortably, like
they're struggling to break them down, and it just it is the time. This is the time now where you'd like the experience of a McElhinney who could, pick that pass, who would be driving at you, and obviously he's not there tonight, and they're definitely missing him. Like, everything's in front of Harps at the minute. They're playing over and back. They're nicely set up. Everyone's doing their job.
Cowan, did we see how many minutes were added on? I know Watch League of Ireland like us to guess substitutes and everything, but I don't know. Did the clock go up there? Do we know how many minutes have been added on? No?
I think it's 4, but I think it's 4 now. But again,
Tony McNamee said 4. Yeah, so
4 minutes added, backed up by Liam McLaughlin there.
He's another bad referee when we're talking about referees.
Don't be giving me that. No, I'm not having that. Liam McLaughlin's top man. Unbelievable ref. He's done a few school games for me now at College Alley, and he's 100%. We haven't lost the game yet.
Old boys network, is it? Old boys.
We haven't lost the game yet that he's been in charge of. So
keepers up.
Here. The big scramble. Getting bodies up. The keeper's up. It's fallen. McGinley has it, and you'd say that is pretty much that.
That's that.
That is pretty much that for me. Derek, get that whistle in your mouth and blow over full time. Do something
Good
useful.
save
tonight.
there from McGinley, to be fair. McGinley's made that look routine. That's on the edge of the box. Your man's caught her well.
Yeah,
McGinley's
and that's
got
that.
it well.
There you go. 2-1 Finn Harps. We are top of the league. The Italian doesn't know what to do. How's Ollie's Italian, do you think?
Ollie's a cultured man, like.
To be fair,
I'd
yeah,
say
he probably has a bit too.
He does, 100%. He does.
He was taking
Man can
Italian
paint
lessons. That's probably what he was doing, on the off season there. Ollie's taking Italian lessons because he wanted to decipher, break down whatever Dundalk's game plan would have been. He would have been up during the week, eavesdropping on conversations.
Oh, lad, hey, what a result, Cow, now. Like, Jesus. Like, we talked about it beforehand, the preview, that we thought Hearts were capable of getting a result, but we kind of said it's going to be a real tough night and a lot's going to have to go for them. But again, like, on reflection, from my perspective, totally deserved to win the match. The better side for me had the better chances before we scored, and unbelievable result. I don't know if you agree with me, or I'm being a bit harsh on Dundalk.
100%. Again, like that's an Ollie masterclass for me. Someone mentioned there a couple of weeks ago that there should be a statue erected of Ollie outside Finn Park. You know what? After going to Dundalk and beating them 2-1, I'd be inclined to agree with them. But look, going to Dundalk, we know what they have. They were nowhere near what they usually are, and by their own high standards. But all that aside, Finn Harps going down there, beating them 2-1. I wouldn't say at their leisure, but what do you expect from an away performance? You be tight, you be organised, you take your chances. Dundalk did by no way had Harps under the cosh. They had a few chances here and there. One chance that they had, Harps didn't deal with from a ball under the box, and it ended up in the back of the net. But everything else they dealt with really well, and you couldn't say it was all hands to the pump. Not at all. It was comfortable.
No.
Everything was composed. The lads in midfield, the start of midfield lasted the entire game, which was good. Actually Barry got taken off, but they got about, they hassled, everyone was disciplined, like you say about picking up silly yellow cards and things like that. Maybe dropping down to 10 men through the course of the game. None of that. It was a professional performance, and the lads deserve huge credit tonight. Huge credit.
100%. I mean, I don't really have much more to add than what you said there. Like, I'd love to get the feedback from the fans. I know everyone's saying delighted, great result. But again, as you said, they were under pressure at times, but never what you would normally expect when you go to Oriel Park, to be under sustained periods of pressure where you can't get out of your half. Didn't happen. Harps, I think for me, and we talked about it early on at the start, that press was a real sign of intent. That Harps weren't here just to make up the numbers, and if we nick a fucking goal on the counter, we'll take a point. That was a real, and they had a couple of chances, and Sullivan could have scored one, and then obviously bad mistake from the keeper, but you've got to be there to capitalise on it, and Harps were, and I'm just really impressed with Harps. So, as you said, professional, controlled, really well organised, and this is the goal again.
Hint offside there, Chief, on that one, no? His boy.
I'm looking at that now. I don't know if we can see it back when he plays. If you stop it there, I don't know. See, the way that Watts leg, I don't know where their right back is. So their right back would be deeper, and he's playing him on. I don't know. You can't.
Is Cleary there? I think it's Cleary, maybe alongside him. Is Cleary playing him on?
He's on.
Oh yeah, he's on. He's a
and again, as you see in the camera, you can't see. I don't know where the right back is. The right back could be even deeper. I know he comes into the shot now. I don't know where the right back is.
No, look, as I was saying there before, it's a professional job, full value for it. Ollie has and Higgsy have their homework done. They've identified that's not a settled back four that we touched on early on. That's not the back four of Gannon, of Gartland, of Cleary, of Massey that has been there for years.
John Hoare's gone as well,
of Rodgers and goals. That have been used to playing out and playing that way. This is a new group of players that are in there. So they've identified that, these lads won't be totally settled. if we can press them, if we can unsettle them, there's mistakes there, and they did that, and they unsettled Dundalk by putting that press on, by putting that doubt in their mind that we're not going to get it all our own way. Chances came from that. We saw them going long, which they're not used to doing, and ultimately played into Harp's hands a wee bit because they were able then to capitalise. We've seen from the back four that they're all over the shop for that goal. That's it's kind of schoolboy stuff.
I hard to understand as well because it's not like, as I say, Harps of Dundalk have given the ball away like the first goal in a really bad area and they're not set up. They've got possession. That Harps won the ball back deep inside their own half and they break and Russell picks the ball up and all they have to do is get his head up and as I say, without taking anything away from Foley, it's a tremendous touch and second touch and a great, real composed finish. You can easily blaze at that and put it over the bar, but. No, it's just a brilliant result. It adds to the whole optimism that's at the club at the minute. And to beat Bohs and Dundalk in your first two games, to have 6 points from that's fantastic. And who's the next two again? Is it?
I think you're away to Drogheda, and home to Waterford is your next two.
Right.
So again, you're tricky territory there.
Those are games, so that you would probably be targeting to say they're really winnable. When you're looking at Bohs and Dundalk, that's a tough start, but whatever amount of points we can get there, great. But now you've got 6 from 6, and they're two very winnable games. It's going to be tough. You're right. Next Saturday, lad, Drogheda away, and then home to Waterford. So quality stuff.
Yeah, no, I think, as I say, as you mentioned there, those are games that they would have been penned in as be thinking, look, we can pick up points here and there. Not to be getting too carried away, but after tonight, you have to be looking again. Not to get too carried away. That's not as good a Dundalk side as we've seen. You know what I mean? They're a relatively new side, and again, they're missing a couple. But Ollie will know that. Ollie and Higgsy will know that. And it's important to keep that in mind. But again, take nothing away from the boys. You still have to go. You still have to turn up. You still have to get 100%. The result. And they've done that. They've done that, and they've been absolutely brilliant. And take nothing away from them. Big Foley, leading 3 goals
and 2. I think when we done the preview show and what Ollie, even what Ollie's like. Ollie to come out and say we want to take it up a notch was a statement of intent. Now, other people that don't know Ollie would say, well, that's hardly a declaration that they're going to take on the world. But that is a big thing for Ollie even to say that. And I feel like there has been a mindset shift at Harps, when you think of the way they approach that game tonight. Because it would be easy. You get a great result at home. Let's be conservative. Dundalk still have a lot of quality, a lot of experience. But Harps really went to they went to win that game tonight. Which is probably something you can't always say all these teams have gone and done, especially away from home. So there's definitely been, again, without getting carried away, I think it's the mindset shift that's changed that's getting me excited where, they're going to go to Drogheda and expect to win. Do you know what I mean? And that can only be a good thing for the club.
Yeah, very much so. I think what you're saying there is true, but I think looking back on squads that Ollie would have had before, and I'd have been a part of them, and you'd have been a part of them yourself. We didn't maybe have the quality to say that we could go and do a job like that. You know what I mean? The recruitment has been quality. He's got a couple of good lads, and again, that's a settled squad from last year, and a lot of people have alluded to that there that it is that they haven't made much signings and in terms of what was there last year, and they was just adding to that, and he's done really well. Again, if you look at Big Foley, he's been leading the line there, 2 goals tonight and 1 last week, plucked from relative obscurity with Newry City. And now he's playing the League of Ireland, and he's scored 2 tonight and 1 last week. You got to hold your hands up.
I know what concern of yours was. And I suppose it's the same for every team. The hardest thing to do is put the ball in the back of the net. And even though Harps have good strikers, you don't know much about Shanley and Boyd's trying to sort of rebuild themselves. So you are wondering where's the goals going to come from. But I mean, the confidence he's going to have, 3 goals in 2 games, he's just going to be absolutely flying. So I think there's a few comments coming on here. Rod, Rodney Dulligan, our good mate in Sweden, says first high press away from home under Ollie. Maybe it is, I don't know. But it's just a brilliant result, and everyone's absolutely buzzing. And yeah, great.
I think, like what's he saying here? Tom, want to go? Well done, lads. Another good show. The new Karen Neville. Tom, you should be in your honeymoon. You should be watching this rubbish.
Oh, that's right. Congrats to big Tommy McMonigal. Hey, got married.
Yeah,
absolutely
congratulations,
yes.
Good man.
Nah, congrats, Tommy. Absolute legend. Top man. Great player as well.
Fantastic. Let me see up the Harps lads. Getting a chance to log in. Will we win and draw it now? There's a question, Robert Love. Do we go to draw it and win?
Do you know what? I do think it'll say a lot about Harps where, if you do fall, winning against Bohs and Dundalk's unbelievable, but if you can follow that up with a win against Drogheda, it's a massive result again. Whereas if you lose, it might be a case of, right, we're still very much, in transition and we're still that team. But if you go and follow an away one up at Dundalk and Drogheda, I think it's a massive statement. You go,
yeah.
I do. Obviously, it gives you confidence, but again, it's one of those. Dundalk or Drogheda had a great result last weekend, so I don't think there's any easy games in the league. And Ollie, as you say, Ollie and Paul Hegarty are very much going to keep the players' feet in the ground. I don't think the players are going to get carried away as well, because the players will know as good a result that is against Dundalk. It isn't the Dundalk of old as well, but gives them massive confidence, and it's just brilliant.
Yeah, like one thing that I'd be worried about a little bit, again, just to try and stay grounded on this one here, and everyone feel free to get totally carried away because we have every right to. But the goals that they got tonight, and the goals that they got again, a mistake against Bohs, Big Foley's capitalised on it. Another mistake from the keeper tonight, he capitalised on that one, and shambolic defending, such a high line from Dundalk, and again they've capitalised on those chances, and that's brilliant. But I suppose when teams maybe find their feet and get organised, will those chances be easy to come by? Is probably what I'm looking at, and again, only time will tell, and I hope I'm wrong. But
no, I think it's a fair point actually. When you've analysed that, it is two terrible mistakes, really. Unforced errors from the goalkeeper tonight and last week, the Bohs centre half, and then the third goal is a great goal from a Harps perspective, but from Dundalk, it is shambolic. So I think it is important, and again, it's not to rain on anyone's parade, but we're buzzing. I know everyone else is buzzing, but I do think the Drogheda game is huge now. Where if you can, when was the last time Harps won 3 games in this bounce at the start of a season in the Premier Division? Do you know what I mean?
Just to cut across you there, Waterford just gone one up against Sligo. So of everybody saying Waterford, nowhere near it last week, a group of kids have just gone one up against Sligo, who then held Dundalk last week. So, great header from a corner, well whipped in.
Yeah.
And
it's going to take a while for the league to settle down. It is going to take a while for the league to settle down. In terms of new players and new teams. Even you referenced it several times tonight. Dundalk, new goalkeeper, replacing Gary Rogers is an unenviable task. It's not easy. A lot of new defenders as well. So, good question there from Alan Kelly. Again, probably a bit premature to be writing off Dundalk, but could Dundalk do a Cork? Do you think
that ours is going to fall out of it completely?
Yeah, do you think it could, as we know in the League of Ireland, there is that culture of a boom bust cycle. And Cork are in the first division now. It's only a couple of years ago they were playing the Champions League, so it's not something we haven't seen before in the past. But you just don't know.
No, you don't know. And I suppose looking when you see a mass, I call it mass exodus, a mass those players that we mentioned, that experience, that backbone of a side that have left, for one reason or another. Generally, you couldn't say, well, those lads that have been there for so long, was it about contracts? Was it about money? Was it about, what was the reason? But when you see that, it's never a good sign. It's never a good sign when your Gallons are going, Massey's, those lads that, that bled for Dundalk for years. And now they're thinking, this is something doesn't smell right here. I'm off for whatever's happening behind the scenes. You know, big Gary Rogers, you know, retiring. Is there something behind the scenes that isn't quite right when you think of all these new lads coming around and, you know?
Yeah, and I mean, Finney Peart left under a bit of a cloud, and I don't know if you read Sean Hoare's article. He signed with Shamrock Rovers, and he was like, I think he more or less said that the Italian guy agreed with him because Shamrock Rovers offered him a 4-year deal, and he was like, yeah, you have to take it. Like, but I think he was trying to imply that he obviously loved it at Dundalk, but there was no counter offer, and it made no sense for him to stay at Dundalk. So there's definitely something not right there, like 100%. Like,
yeah, you think so. The way that, you know, all these things have materialized and things coming out, and, you know, being in a position of, you know, controlling the league for so long, and, you know, having such a good group of players all together, you know, like, and the players that have stayed, you know, like the likes of Duffy that has stayed, you know, offered a big contract, has taken the money, even though maybe probably there was offers on the table as well. I can't imagine that there wasn't offers for Duffy, but he's decided to take the money. Other lads have decided to take the security of, as you mentioned, a multi-year deal for the likes of Sean Hoare.
You disappointed in Duffy a wee bit, lad, that he hasn't gone across? Do you think he had an opportunity then, and he's decided, you know what, I'll stay here, good big money or big contract at Dundalk? So you a little bit disappointed by him? Is that the vibe I'm getting off you, or am I?
Well, I suppose there, you know, when you think of players that, you know, you like players to be ambitious, and you like players to, you know, at still such a young age, go and try and achieve and fulfill their potential and move to a higher level. There is that, you know, thing where, you know, where you're comfortable or where you're playing good football. You know, when we saw somebody like Duffy that has that quality last season, and, you know, we saw the likes of, say, Flores going to Hull there, as I mentioned before. Surely there's an option then for, now, you know, not that I know that there was concrete.
No, but I get what you're saying. They're definitely probably with he was linked with a lot of clubs in the offseason.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, definitely. And there was, and I know actually one of the ones was there was an offer from Scotland and the Premier League, and you thought, you know, there's an opportunity now. You know, not going to a top club, not going to a Rangers or a Celtic or a, you know, maybe an Aberdeen.
Putting yourself in a big shop window, like,
yeah, definitely. And you know, because I'm sure the likes of him still has ambitions of playing for Ireland. You know, so is he going to get that at Dundalk? Definitely not the way they started this season anyway. You know, they're not going to be looked fondly upon. You know, you saw the likes of McAniff going to Hearts that we spoke about last week.
Yeah.
You know, these are
Jack Byrne went to Cyprus, like, so yeah.
Yeah, like you know, and those are the top players in the league, and you know, you like to see those lads with ambition. But look, who am I to talk about anybody's future and what they should be doing in the game and the money that they should be doing? You know, but
yeah, I mean, I've questioned your ambition before in the past, that you've had opportunities to move out to the Middle East here and join me, and you've rejected them every time.
The amount of opportunities I had to go to Letterkenny Rovers.
Hey, there's still plenty of opportunities. Never rule out a return to Lakeview, lad. But
I'm not going to back to Lakeview, Chief, unless you're there.
Yeah, well, here we'll make it happen. I'm moving home in July. Hey, we'll see what happens. Here, Chief. We'll get maybe a few more comments come in here. We'll wrap it up fairly soon. Man of the match, who are you giving it to? Obviously, it's probably an obvious one, isn't it? Has to be the goal scorer, probably. But I think
it has to be your goal scorer.
Good performances, wasn't there?
Big Foley from the start. You know, as he said, like, you know, he's going to be, like, I suppose he's referenced as a target man. You know, he's a big unit, he's tall, but he definitely got about there tonight, and he put the pressure on the back four that we talked about. I think he's full value for the man of the match. Like the way he took the second one, I think any striker would have been proud of that one. You know, he still had a lot to do. As I said, the ball's played his chest just past the halfway line, to get it in front of him, to steady himself, and to get the finish. Top drawer for me. I don't think too many could argue with Alan Foley for man of the match tonight.
Seen a comment there coming from Robert Love. He said Mark Coyle has been much criticised, but he was quality. And I have to say, I've been very impressed with Coyle. Thought he was brilliant last week against Bows. Thought he put in another brilliant shift again tonight. As Robert alluded to, he has come in for some criticism. But I don't think really good.
I think the criticism, you know, that was direct, if you could call it criticism towards Mark Coyle, was just maybe at times his decision making on the ball. You know, I think his place in the team wouldn't be under threat for what he gives you in terms of energy, closing lads down. Like he's so honest. You know, he gives you absolutely everything. And knowing Mark from playing with him, like, you know, definitely you'd have him in your team every single week. The only thing that we sort of mentioned throughout tonight was just that quality on the ball. But again, that'll come, I suppose, hopefully as the season progresses, more games, you know, he will definitely tidy up, and you know, definitely.
I don't think Robert's on about us criticising tonight. I think he's been criticised in the past, maybe for, I think, like you said, maybe lacking that bit of quality. But look, every player has different strengths and different limitations, and you need a Mark Coyle in there. You need someone who's going to do the dirty work and break things up and put their foot in it, and that allows a player like Barry McNamee to go and do what he does. So it's all about balance, and people bring different things to the game. But no, great shift from him tonight, and you got to mention McGinley too, don't you? That's you know, if you're analysing the game, that was a key moment. That save, it was one each. Harps had just conceded; they were on the ropes, and it's a top class save from McGinley as well. So important to highlight that from Mark.
I think so. I think since Mark has come in, he's been superb. You know, you know, a difficult position to fill in any team as your goalkeeper, and for Harps to get lucky, and to an extent with being able to get him at the right time. Obviously, his earlier career was, you know, with Donegal and the GA, but you know, for Harps to get him and him to, you know, come into Harps and feel comfortable there and do really well and command, and each week, you know, as we spoke about last week, he's been, you know, Player of the Year 2 years in a row. So you know, his quality is unquestionable. At times of the games when you need your keeper to, as you say, get the ball and lie on it, or, you know, take it down and tie the lace or take the glove off or whatever. Like, Mark's an intelligent boy as well, so he'll have no problem, you know, adapting to the way that Ollie wants him to do things. And, you know, his quality, his kicking, every part of his game. There's not really a part of his game where I'd say he's weak at.
Yeah, he's solid. He's rock solid all over. Like,
yeah, you know, some people there will go tonight and say, you know, that, you know, Harps went long. You know, a few of the late LOI guys or whatever say Harps didn't play from the back. They went long and they, you know, blanket defence and this and that. You know, that's all well and good, but that, you know, what's the score? What did Dundalk try and do? And they couldn't do it, and then they end up going 1-0 down. So to those people,
and I don't think Harps parked the bus. Like, there's no way you can describe that performance and that approach from Harps as parking the bus. If you're employing like a high press, that's the opposite of parking the bus, because you're taking a risk by pressing that they can pop you off and play around you and then get in behind you. And there was times in the first 15 minutes, Duffy got in behind Eaton Boyle a couple of times. He got free kicks in dangerous areas. So you know what? It's a sloppy way to, you know, say, oh, Harps went and parked the bus. Harps for full value for the win. And a few more comments coming in here. Peter Doherty says, can we expect another live show next weekend, lads? I don't know, Count. It probably depends on yourself, doesn't it? And how what the Glentoran are playing. But look, we're enjoying doing them, and as long as all you guys make it, because you're commenting and giving us stuff to talk about. Otherwise, it'd just be me and Cowan chatting nonsense. Like, I know we're chatting nonsense, but we need that interaction from you guys. And you're making it easy for us and bringing the comments in, and it's a great platform for us all to chat about the Harps games, and especially in the current circumstances when people can't go to the matches. So it's all good, but hopefully we definitely will. If we can, we'll do it.
Yeah, a few things, Chief. Just before we finish up, I just want to, you know, mention Amber Barrett, who's currently with FC Cologne in the second tier of ladies football over in Germany. Yeah, Amber doing really well. Called into the Irish setup on occasions too. You know, she scored last week in their 1-0 win. Sorry, in FC Cologne's 1-0 win away to. I'm not even going to try and pronounce the name.
We'll get Fez. We'll get Adrian Ferry on. He's an expert in German football. Fez.
Yeah, we'll get Fez, who is our German football correspondent, to give us any translations that we need. But no, look, fair play to Amber. She's out there. She's tearing it up. You know, she's doing really well.
It's great to see it, isn't it? It's great to see somebody like from Donegal, like, and you know, playing at that level in Germany, like, and comes from a big GAA household as well, which is even better to see that she's prevalent in the foreign sport. So no, it's brilliant, hey. And I think who else? I think we mentioned before, Ciara Grant's kicking off the season tomorrow for Shells as well. So
Ciara Grant's kicking off tomorrow. Yeah, I think they play Athlone in their first game of the season. That Women's National League kicks off tomorrow too. So best of luck to Ciara. I was reading a wee bit on Ciara there. She's a qualified doctor as well. So I was just having a talk to Chief about it there. Chief, we never played with too many doctors in our day, did we? There wasn't too many lads in the change room. You could say we'll go on to be a doctor.
No, well, we did play with one doctor. We played with Jimmy Doc, but he certainly wouldn't have the required levels of intelligence to be studying in I don't know, Royal College of Surgeons or whatever. But no, I'd agree with you there, Chief. Definitely not too many doctors in our.
There was a few lads that we could. There's a few lads that we could say would have needed a doctor on many occasions, but or we could have referred them to a doctor, but definitely not any doctors in our change room. So best luck to Ciara as well. I know Ciara had a start early in her career as well. Took the time out, went and done her studies. So top job. You know, getting her qualifications, and now I know she's definitely looking to improve on the 14 international caps that she had as well. So, so
hopefully she gets back in the Ireland squad. Yeah, so hopefully she gets back in the squad. Alan Kelly's mentioned Fez's €2 donation. Already mentioned it earlier. Alan, fantastic initiative from Fez, and you know, we promoted it earlier, and we also promoted the Harps. What was it again? I can't even remember now. It was some other thing we promoted. I can't remember now. What was it? The Last Man Standing, wasn't it?
Last Man Standing. Yeah.
There's Last Man Standing.
Decent comment there, Chief, from Pat McCann. We didn't have many doctors, but Skinny performed a few surgeries in his day.
He definitely did. Hey, Skinny definitely did. An absolute maniac, a dangerous man. But my favourite moment, as we mentioned in the podcast, was Tommy Boner getting his retribution on Skinny in training for every player that has been scarred by him over the years. So a great comment from Paddy McCann. We might get Paddy on stateside for one of these watch-alongs, maybe at half-time and the next match if he's up for it. But he's too busy trying to make America great again, so I don't know if he's available or not.
Patrolling the streets of Manhattan.
Yes, his local councillor there, Andrew Cuomo, or whatever you call him, he's under a lot of pressure, so McCann's doing a lot of firefighting for him. But that's the crack, boys.
Final shout out.
2 hours and 37 minutes, Chief. Good old stint there.
We've done well, Chief. I just want to give a final shout out to Sam Todd as well. Starts the season tonight with UCD. UCD, their opening game of the season, home to Athlone, and they've just gone 1-0 up there as well on 21 minutes. So best of luck to Sam. Obviously a good servant to Harps as well back in the day, and all up until last season. So best of luck to Sam, and it would be great to if he could get UCD promoted and another man playing in the Premier League.
Yeah, absolutely, be brilliant. And obviously, there's a neighbour of my own at Derry City at the minute, Mark Walsh. He came back from Swansea last year, so he's looking to rebuild his career at Derry City. He didn't feature last week, but hopefully he gets some game time. Maybe Declan Devine will make the changes this week, looking for a response. So hopefully Mark features and things go well for him. So all the best to Mark as well for the season. Sorry, mate?
Pressure in Derry this week.
Definitely. I mean, I think we spoke about it in the preview show and kind of saying that things were poor at Derry last season. And, you know, I do think, you know, lost to Longford, if they don't get off to a good start, there's going to be serious pressure on Decky Devine, without a shadow of a doubt. And then, as I said, Paddy McCord casts a big shadow. Even if Paddy's not interested in the job, he's involved in Derry. He's a full-time employee of the football club. The fans love him. He is, you know, as I say, a full-time employee of the football club. And, you know, I'm probably getting carried away here. But I wouldn't be surprised if half a dozen games in, Derry are really on the ropes and they're struggling. And you know yourself, in modern football, they don't wait around and they make changes, and you never know. That's
Yeah.
all I'm saying. But definitely massive game for them this weekend. Huge game.
Yeah.
Huge game.
I'm just looking here. Have they got a game this weekend? Just actually looking. Just seeing
Christian Dulligan's not happy. Keep quiet about Derry. Jesus Christ, lads. You know he's Rodney's young fella, wouldn't you?
Derry's a bad
Just
word
love-
now, right? And
Ah,
then Derry, believe it. You get a
stop.
couple of days for it.
Two lads out in Sweden bluffing, hey. Working for Spotify, and Rodney's the big left-wing revolutionary fraud. Sold out.
They're just the boss is on
Sold
the case. Game called off to the internationals, so there you go.
Right.
Derry have the lads away, guard sides away is one. Anybody know any others? Who cares?
There was actually an interesting comment earlier that said you mentioned Dundalk had a few on international duty and said, could Dundalk have met the requirements to have the game called off? Do you need a certain amount of international players involved for the game to be
I always
called
thought
off?
it was three. I always thought
Three.
it was three.
Could be, yeah. Could be three.
But then Derry must have a couple of underage ones.
And the 21s maybe.
Yeah, but you would have thought that Dundalk would have had one more. You know what I mean? Out of all the lads they have and all the players,
Yeah.
like I know it's the Faroes and Latvia that the two lads
Latvia,
have gone to. So yeah, it's pressure for Dundalk, pressure for Derry, jubilance for Harps. I think we could nearly leave it there, Chief, for this week. And look, we'll have a look at things this week. We'll see how the fixtures lie, and hopefully we can join you next week in Drogheda. We'll leave it there, Chief, will we?
100%, lad. And anyone who's missed the show, I see a few comments coming on. Didn't know you were doing this, but sure, you'll get us next time anyway. And spread the word. Hey, we're enjoying doing it, and thanks a million for all your comments. And you do make it, like, because we wouldn't be on here for 2 hours and 40 minutes if we didn't have you sending in your comments and that. So thanks a million, and enjoyed it. And 101 for the Harps, say top of the league. Love it.
Yeah. Thanks everybody for joining. Absolutely superb from you. Keep it up. We'll see you again soon. All right, cheers.
All right, Ken. I'm heading to the pool here. 37 degrees. Good man. Good luck. Enjoy lockdown. See you. Don't care. Bye.